Good evening. Welcome to Howling About Entertainment on this December 20th, 2020. And it has been one hell of a week in entertainment. I'll tell you what, we have had a whole lot go on this week, whether it is the premiere of some series that we have been looking to see, or whether it is the conclusion of some series that we have been watching, as well as some news and info kind of all around the entertainment world. All right, we got Mary G here, just another red shirt. Good evening to you both. I'm so glad that you made it. All right. We are going to should have a few of the regular guests rolling in. I'll bring in our first good buddy, Vigilante Williamson. How are you, my friend?
Vigilante Williamson with the sixth, I don't know how many episodes I've been on, episode of Jake D's Howling About Entertainment. I've been on it each time. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate you, my friend. And we are also joined by the great Lord Thoth. Good evening, Thoth.
Gentlemen, nice to see you both.
Indeed. Feels like we've all been kind of in the same streams all day.
All weekend, actually.
Definitely, yeah.
Good times.
All right. Say a good evening to Man of War, Neighbor of the Beast, and Jaffo. Good evening to everybody. Thank you so much for popping in. All right, man. So we have got just all kinds of stuff to chat about with just lots of things happen in entertainment, which is surprising considering our lockdown and nothing in theaters, but TV has been pretty hot lately. Alex, good to see you, my friend. I actually went on to Google to try to learn how to pronounce your last name correctly, and it wasn't any help. I tried. I really want to get his name right because it's so important.
I can appreciate that.
Clobbering Times, good evening, sir. So as we're waiting for a few folks to roll in, man, I'm thinking I want to chat a little bit and get everybody's thoughts about Tom Cruise.
Ooh, I haven't touched this topic myself.
Oh, random.
Yeah. It was interesting. And the guys chatted about it on Friday Night Tights this week. And I'm curious to hear what you guys think. So for anybody who's not familiar, Tom Cruise is filming Mission Impossible 7. They're at the 7th one somehow, and they are under some really, really strict rules because of the coof. And apparently a couple of the behind the camera crew were a little bit too close to one another at a computer. And old Tom Cruise, he went off big time. And then that got recorded and leaked, and I guess he went off again. And so much so that a few of the staff have actually left the production. And, his rant was kind of along the lines of, basically, look, these are the rules. And if you guys don't follow them, we're going to get shut down. We're providing hundreds of jobs to people making this movie, and you guys ignoring these requirements is going to kill every one of those jobs. And, other than his, be the right way to put it, other than his vigor with which he expressed his frustration, I don't know that I disagree with them. I don't know. What do you think, V-Dub?
I'm of multiple minds with this one. I lean towards what you say, what you just said. Man, you understand. You can definitely understand just as a business owner, because that's where he was yelling at. That's where he was coming from. He's like, I'm on the phone with producers. I'm on the phone with insurance agents. And he's a producer. You said, how did we get to 7? Well, a lot of that's Tom Cruise's own money being involved with these projects. So he was not just yelling as a bratty Hollywood actor. He was yelling as a business owner who was put under a lot of restrictions that a lot of business owners is putting on. He was yelling as a aware business owner who knows that Hollywood is looked at with a microscope. And I can appreciate the frustration in the moment. I also understand the staff who's also under that same pressure, who's also trying to figure out everything with these restrictions, and is like, listen, man, I know I may have done this two or three times, but it may not be at fault. And it's you can see all angles from this. This is really just some one of the symptoms or the side effects of all the restrictions and everything going on with the coup, no matter how you feel about it. And that's not to say it shouldn't be taken seriously, but this is just one of those things where it just that pressure building up in a specific workplace, this case being the entertainment industry. But similar things are happening in workplaces all across the planet. Where you have this, but where there's a new process, you have a business owner who's scared to death of what may happen to their business, and they're trying to go against this new process, and they may have outbursts that you don't like. And granted, and you have the employees who are also trying to do this and trying to do that, and they're not going to appreciate said outbursts. So you understand how something like this can happen.
You bet. I mean, from what I understand, he puts a lot of his own money into these movies,
Yes.
the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and Mary G made a comment, about being a Scientologist and not being able to get like hospital care if he gets particularly sick. I don't know. What do you think about that, Lord Thoth? You think that has anything to do with it also?
Yeah, I think so. I agree exactly with what VW is saying here. I agree 100%. And yeah, there's a lot of money that he's invested in this. Not just that, it's his brand too, right? Your brand is pretty important, and I think he was taking it as a personal attack. I don't think that's what it was. Obviously, there's been a lot of differing opinions on this whole coup situation and social distancing, all of that. Look, I get that he felt threatened. I get that there was the chance of them getting shut down. If somebody was covertly watching the situation too, what would have happened? It could have been a loss of money. It could have been a loss of prestige, whatever. But there's a better way to do this. If you have a situation whereby you have individuals that are acting out or not following the rules, you got to take them aside where it's less public and say, guys, come on now. Like Whiskey Tango Fox, right? From a military perspective, I look at it as you never yell and scream and lose your temper in front of your troops. If you're the guy up top, you got to be better than everybody else. And it's hard. It is hard being that guy at the top. And man, he is the vision. He is the picture of this franchise. He is the man. It is his face and his lifestyle on the line here. I get that.
Yeah.
But you take them aside and you dress them down in private. You don't need to make this a public thing because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's recording. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if the president of the studio was watching. You don't know if someone's got their phone out. Nowadays, everything is public. Everything.
Oh,
you
God,
have to go into a situation believing that, yes, you are being recorded. So you have your own public persona that you have to consider here, and that's your brand. So what he did was, yeah, maybe he was right, but he did it wrong. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
I agree with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, Clobber Times encapsulates it well, right? Get the point, but there's ways to talk to people. Unless you're a drill sergeant or Vince Lombardi, screaming never really works. Tom Cruise is a phony.
That's right. He's got to see himself as the colonel. He's got to see him as the top dog. You never see the colonel scream. You never see the officer in charge yell or get red-faced or start throwing things. You never see that. The colonel has to be a glacier. He is the mountain of calm, because in any stressful situation, everybody has to look to him. Everybody has to trust him to lead them into battle. Now, it's one thing being in the trenches and being one of the drill sergeants and going bark, 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 right? Do this, do that. That's one thing. But if you're the guy at top, you've got to be better than everything else. You can't let yourself lose it. You can't let your anger get the best of you. You've got to be better than that.
Absolutely. And, Alex says it really well. He's punching down here.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Staff guy.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of things that brought him to that point. I think that you don't just lose it all of a sudden unless you're an idiot. Like he had a lot of stuff going on. I think there was a lot of pressures, whether from the studio, what's going on in Hollywood, with the coof, with everything. So he's getting it from everywhere. He's getting it from, is this movie going to be successful? Is this movie going to bomb like what we've seen in Hollywood in the last several months? So there's a lot of pressure there. I get that. But man, you never lose it on the troops.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they're filming now, I mean, that's got to be shooting for probably this time next year release date, give or take, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And Alex said a point. He said he was frustrated. He wanted to take it out on someone. I definitely think that was a huge element. Like what Lord Thought said, there's so much riding on it. There's so much he's dealing with, and I think, and I agree that you do have to handle it better.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise does kind of have a track record of being a bit out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there is still that point of just to extrapolate it for the normie, for the average Joe out there. There is just like, this is what is happening because of these restrictions, and you see the crunch that business is put on because yes, Tom Cruise could have handled it better, but a lot of people don't always have that temper, or don't have that temperament to be leader and be the general. And there are small businesses all across the planet, like I said, who have had their own Tom Cruise moment with a similar situation.
Yeah,
there's a chain of command there, though, right? Like he's there. It's not a military organization, and that's not what I mean. But if you look at it, he's got a chain of command. So he reports to somebody, and people report to him.
Yeah.
So if he's going to lose it, he's got to go to the people that are in charge of that situation. So you have, your crew leaders, you have your sound guys, but everybody reports to somebody. So what he just did is he just lost it on the crew, on everybody.
Yeah.
You gotta go to your guy, you gotta go to your second in command or whatever it is in his case, and lose it on him in private. And you say, this is gonna change right now. Fix it now. And that's it. That's all you have to say. Then his guy goes, oh crap. And he goes out there and he goes, guys, we can't be doing this. And then you fix the problem. Then you don't have a loss of morale. You don't have people quitting the whole picture. You don't have people not wanting to do their best because this prima donna superstar guy who thinks he's better than everybody else comes in here and starts screaming at me. That's the opinion you get. You don't get the, oh crap, we just screwed up. You get the, oh yeah, like he's better than everybody else. That's the kind of opinion you get.
Yeah. And it's, Clobberin' Times makes a good point here. It's, he was screaming like a madman at the peasants.
Yeah.
Right.
And that should have never have happened.
Exactly. I mean, I like your take on it that, whoever, to use the military term is XO, right?
Yep.
is the guy that he needed to go to and fix the issue.
That's right. And then he can keep his hands clean, and he's everybody's friend then, right? It's all about being fair and firm and friendly from being a command perspective. He wants everybody to do their best. He wants to be the guy, yeah, I'm firm. You lay down the law, but you do that through your guys, your drill sergeant, as Clobberin' Times put it. Those are the guys who got to twist those screws and say, guys, we got to do this. Well, Tom Cruise, he's the guy where he pushes and pushes, but he's the morale guy. He wants everybody to be doing a good job and doing their best without jeopardizing the whole picture. That's the way I look at it.
Interestingly, though, I mean, Tom Cruise is such a weird dude. I mean, he really is. Because, I mean, there's a lot of stories out there about him doing stuff not terribly dissimilar from what you hear about Keanu Reeves for the crews of his pictures. There's a lot of stories about the guy, you just kind of hear him because he doesn't ask for any fanfare, where he's done a lot of generous monetary things for people who needed help that were working on his pictures. Not to the level of Reeves, not by any stretch, right? And outside of that environment, the guy's a nutcase. But
that's ego-driven too. That's the persona of Hollywood. That's that ego-driven alpha male, perfectionist. That's exactly what it is. He's a perfectionist. He drives himself to the best he can be, and he expects everybody else to be at that level. and sometimes, he goes overboard. I think we get that from a lot of actors in Hollywood, actors and actresses. It doesn't matter what sex you are. You can be alpha and you can be strong, and you believe that you're in that position that I'm a superstar, so you better listen to me. And if you screw up, I'm coming down on you. And that's not the way to handle it.
Yeah. I'm so torn on this one because the way he went about it was definitely not good.
Right.
But I mean, where it came from, I mean, I totally get it. I really do. I totally get it. So.
And I'm similarly torn because I do understand the perspective of your business being in jeopardy.
Yeah, he wasn't wrong. I don't think he was wrong. I just think that there's a better way to deal with it.
Yeah. So Nick, do you ever find yourself screaming like a madman because two of the folks down there at Trader Joe's got too close together without their masks on?
Me personally, no. But workers and customers, every bloody goddamn motherfucking day.
Oh man!
Everyone is like being like a distance Nazi or a mass Nazi towards each other. Now I'm just like, I'm here existing and breathing. Well, these people are all at each other's throats for every dude. Some people are wild about like. Some people are like afraid to like hand each other money, so they swipe on the counter real quick because they're afraid to make it. And it's not. And I'm not even talking about just customers. Workers do it too, man. Oh my god,
Hey.
People are wild about this shit, but whatever, bro. I'm here to enjoy myself.
So you're saying you're with Tom Cruise or against him then on this?
The thing is, Tom Cruise is nuts. I've already come to grips with that a long time ago. Is water wet? Is Snow White? Tom Cruise is nuts. But that said, I love what he's done recently in movies, and I don't know how nutty the studios are about their beer bug virus procedures. It sounds like they're outrageous, and I know he has money, but the whole thing is they gotta keep shit open. Otherwise, if someone fucks up, then they gotta shut the shit down, which is really stupid. And that said, though, I mean, he may have overreacted just a tad. But I do get where he's coming from. I really do. Yeah. I get where he's coming from, as nuts as he is, and jumping on couches on Oprah Winfrey, talking about how much he loves women. I get where he's coming from. I do. I mean, even if I don't agree with how nutty the procedures are, I get where he's coming from. Because a lot of jobs don't have leadership nowadays.
Yeah.
So at least he has that to some degree.
One other thing, I can't not bring this up when we're talking a little bit about Tom Cruise here, but dude, there is nothing better than Les Grossman dancing at the end of Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder is great.
That actually was a great scene.
It was.
Every scene with Les Grossman was great.
True.
I still think about Tom Cruise. I think about when he wouldn't come out of the closet with R. Kelly in South Park. Tom Cruise, please come out of the closet. And then R. Kelly shows up. Now I'm trapped in the closet.
And I
pull out my gun.
The greatest homoerotic movie of all time, Top Gun.
Yes.
Oh, dude. That's unheard. I was actually looking forward to that sequel. I was actually looking forward to that because originally it was supposed to come out in July 2019.
Yeah.
Here's where it gets set. It was supposed to be 2019, but what happened was, since anyone knows, Tom Cruise is really adamant about doing his own stunt work, which, once again, as crazy as is a very admirable, noble thing. And in order to get that work done without the assistance of others, they said the only way we either get a stunt double and get everything out on time, or we push it back so you can do all the work yourself. So he pushed it back to July 2020. Yeah. So basically, he's the director of this movie, no matter what anyone else says, because he's calling the shots at the end of the day.
I'm sure he's got an EP credit on it. Yeah, there's no doubt he's got an EP credit for sure. And just real quick, say a quick hello to Chris Hatfield. Join the chat. Appreciate you popping in, my friend. Death by Saber. Hello. Welcome. Glad you guys made it. And everybody, I don't think the rest of the crew has had a chance to meet Captain Robert
I
April
have
on a
not.
stream before, but good
Hello.
afternoon. Thanks for joining us, Bob. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yo, nice to meet you, man.
What's
I'm just
up,
talking
buddy?
about, Tom Cruise going nuts here,
Yeah.
Good to meet you, Captain.
Same here. He's been hanging around David Miscavige a little too much there. I think he's got ideas. He's going to be the next head of Scientology next.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm in the chat now.
Ah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, appreciate you joining, man.
I haven't
So-
set up on Steph's computer yet. She's like 10 feet away.
Oh, well, it's that whole 15-20 second delay, right?
Got to go to the satellite and back down here.
There you go.
And Marius
All right.
Fear in the chat as well. Good to see you, brother.
Absolutely.
No, I was kind of reminded of Rob Burnett reposted a story he got from when he was directing Free Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And they're shooting on Melrose, I think, or something like that. And they call Shatner to the set. Meanwhile, the lighting guys are still tweaking the lights.
Now you're on there.
I've been on there. Okay, and Bill, it's Rob's, first time director. So, Rob, come here. Look, when we call me to the set, this is our. Let me get the microphone over here for one thing. Probably sound like I'm in the toilet.
Yeah, that couldn't hurt. Yeah.
There we go. I'm gonna have to do a Rudy Valent thing and hold the mic. But he said, when I'm on, this is our time to work. When I'm here, they have their time. Let them do the thing, but don't waste my time by calling me out when you're not ready.
Yeah.
That's what. And okay, he learned a lot right in that thing, and he was a joy to work with. Always keeping people up, So he had no problems at all. That was the only real quibble he had in the entire time working with Bill Shatner. And it kind of, it was a big lesson to as a first-time director. Don't call your talent to the set unless the set is ready. Everything.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Just keep in control of what's going on. And then apparently, Tom doesn't quite have control of what's going on.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Man of War's commenting that he had a Tom Cruise moment. It took him about 18 months to get to it.
But that's true. You have to treat your crew and your staff and the actors on set with kid gloves in a lot of cases, especially the actors, because they are all the prima donnas. They're the ones who think that they're the best at everything they do, and that's why you got to be a little bit more careful with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Makes sense, man. Jennifer Sisko, welcome. Glad that you joined us. Let's now we've had a little fun with poor Tom. Although I'll never forget Les Grossman dancing in Tropic Thunder. That's just one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history.
Tom Cruise is an actor, is fearless. He will do anything.
Yep.
And that's why
himself.
But that's why he feels that he is at that position where he can bark at everybody because he's done it himself, right? He says, I'm leading by example here, and you guys are effing this up. Like this can't go on. And so I get that. I get that from my perspective, from my experiences too. I get that, but there's a better way to deal with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh God, This was, it's kind of blown Christian Bale's meltdown on Terminator set off.
And I thought that one was good.
I can't wait for the memes to come out. Yeah.
I figured with Christian Bale, there was no continuation next day. He apologized to everybody. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have gone there, because Christian Bale's a stand-up guy. But apparently, what I've heard is after this thing leaked, Tom did another meltdown.
Yeah, worse.
And that's when the guy said, "Screw this, I'm out of here."
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's
man.
I don't know if I co-sign.
But I'm kind of wondering if that is a predictor of how this movie is going to go too, right? I wondering if what's going on, if there's some stress behind the scenes whereby these people are quitting, but there might be a reason they're quitting besides the fact that Tom's melting down. This might be just a terrible run set. It could be a lot of problems with the plot. It could be a lot of problems with everything, and with the coof going down, with a lot of limitations are being placed on them by the studio, with the pressures coming in everywhere. This might be this might be the worst movie of the year. We've seen it.
He has to be knows Leah Remini.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, it probably was a straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, that's a good observation, Thoth. You get to a point, right, and something sends you over the edge. I mean, you figure a lot of these people have been out of work for months.
Yeah, yeah.
And almost no matter how bad the working conditions are going to be, a lot of these people need that paycheck. Like, a lot of us couldn't believe, right? I mean, maybe many of us are working to paycheck. These guys went 6, 7, 8 months with no paychecks at all, for God's sake.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So you'd think that they'd be able to take a little bit more, but there's something behind the scenes that are really driving them all to now flee a sinking ship here. It's rats fleeing the sinking ship.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest, I haven't watched like the last 2 Mission Impossible movies.
Well, it also might be
so
showing
good.
that you can't make movies under these restrictions.
No, you
Right.
can't.
You
It's hard.
gotta get the guy next to you, see the monitor, see what's going on. You gotta be close enough to see the damn monitor.
Especially when they're all going to end up going onto a streaming network anyway, and they're not even going to go into theaters.
Yeah.
That's that looks likely. No, the last 3 Mission Impossibles blow the original 3 away. 4, 5, and 6 blow them away. I liked the first one. I thought the second and third were mediocre to bad, but the fourth, something happened when Tom Cruise started believing in aliens. It's like his movies were like having it's just like I believe in aliens, and now I just need to start doing my own stunts. And then he started getting crazier, and then his movies were getting better. Yeah, right. Got on that couch, and all of a sudden he took like some alien caffeine, and now he's like doing all these crazy his own stunts and shit. And his Mission Impossible movies have upgraded like there's no tomorrow.
It's not show me the money. It's show me the aliens.
He knows what he knew. So
Yeah, Steph says her personal yardstick that knows she doesn't have the coof is that she can smell the neighbor's weed, and that's how I knew I was safe in Vegas too. Because when we were on Nick's floor, man, we were going to grab Flava Flav out of his hotel room, and his whole floor, man, it was.
No, someone blazes up down the hallway. We smell it. So
yeah. Well, see, there you go.
I do agree with Clobbering Times, though. Bale is a much better actor than Tom Cruise. Christian
that
Bale.
too. Yeah.
He doesn't compare to Les Grossman. I'm sorry.
Is that going to be what we were just talking about yardsticks here? Is that your yardstick? Where as long as he does a dance in a fat suit, you're good.
Bale came close in American Hustle, so they did a bald thing and a thing of fat suit, or actually, I think he actually gained the weight too.
I think he did, because he was awful. He looked awful.
Bale gained the weight, unlike Cruise.
Yeah. No, Christian, because when they had the shooting out here after whichever Dark Knight movie it was, I haven't seen it because I didn't buy the premise in the first place.
I remember that.
They're saying, you should come out. I think he was already booking the plane tickets.
Yeah.
So he came out here, because these things take time to, So by the time I think he was already playing.
Dark Knight Rises, honey.
That's how much of a delay we got going here.
There you go.
That's your manager in the background, is it?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the Admiral.
That's Steph in the chat. So let's shift gears a little bit, and a lot of us have talked about it a fair bit. We've had more time to think and process and take it in, but Mando's season finale and Jedi Master Luke Skywalker rolling up.
Oh yeah.
So V-Dub, I want you to go first because you have, I think the strongest opinion on this of anybody on the panel. So you've had a couple more days to process. Where you at right now?
Okay, you want to know something? I am a newer YouTuber, and I think I'm having a lot of YouTube stuff because I've talked about it so much that my emotions for it is like, you know what I mean? Because for like the past 3 days, I've ranted about the Trojan horse I'm predicting with this and all the reasons I'm upset about this. But I've done that so much, I will actually start with the positive. Let's give a positive sandwich. We talked about leadership. You want to start off with the positive before going into the negative.
Yeah.
And so the positive is that this was a good finale relative to the story of the Mandalorian, relative to what they were what story they told, and we got a great moment for Luke Skywalker finally appearing for the first time since 1983. Who would have thought putting Luke Skywalker in Star Wars was a good idea? Maybe next They'll put Bruce
don't
Wayne and
say.
Batman.
Wait a minute.
Peter Parker and
Making-
Spider-Man.
Making Luke the guy that we remembered is a good idea.
Yeah.
But we don't remember him this way. He was just massive Jedi Master Luke. So anyway,
Mhm.
And it was
And
a
not,
great
a, not a
movie.
what was second loser either.
yeah.
But he
Sorry,
had
PW.
his, what was the movie Rogue One? He had his Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One moment,
Yes.
and it was cool. And I understand all the emotion, and hopefully I'll be proven wrong, and this will be the first sign of something new with Disney Star Wars, where we get something more authentic to what we know to be Star Wars. But
Yeah, I like Max's.
Trilogy from the canon.
Yeah, I like Max's comment here, and he's not wrong, right? And this is to an extent where I'm at, right? So Luke and Mando, very fine meal, 5 courses, vintage wine, 3 Michelin stars, best you ever had. But it's still the last meal on your way to your execution,
and actually,
which
this
is,
something-
of course, the Disney tragedy movies.
exactly.
Well, we'll see about that.
I appreciate Captain Robert April with the authentic-
Complete with the proper sound effect. That was perfect.
Bravo.
That was so well timed.
See, there's our delay.
Awesome.
All right. So now I haven't heard your take on this one, Captain. So give us your thoughts on Jedi Master Luke Skywalker showing up and
Well, yeah,
just treating those dark troopers like they were B1s from the prequels.
It probably would have been better, like I said, if Yo-Yo over here hadn't blown it for me early because she watched it when I was still in bed. And I'm hearing stuff over there, but then I'm hearing R2's, did they de-age him? Well, there goes that surprise. Thanks a lot.
Well,
So
so
when I
what would you
watch
think
myself
on it?
later on, the X-Wing comes, yep, there he is.
Yeah,
Here
well,
it comes. Micro, yep, that's good to see. That would have been better if I didn't know who it was. Or it's like, is that Luke? It's got to be Luke. No, I didn't have that. So I don't think they actually brought in Mark Hamill, though. They did the voice, clearly, but I think they had a stand in there. They'd CGI'd over the face.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
did.
it was.
Yeah,
It was. Yeah.
they did.
It was an
It
actor.
was a body double. Yep.
Because I think ideally if they could have managed it, I think they should have done is really bring in Sebastian Stan.
Everyone said that.
Yeah. Put him in a
Mhm.
wig. And again, it is freaky how much he looks like Mark Hamill at that age. At the age of where that movie was.
Hamill tweeted a picture of him in, I think it was a movie like Time Cops or something like that that he did in the late
Yeah.
80s, and a picture of Stan now.
Mhm.
This was like
Yeah.
a year ago or so.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's unreal.
Oh, everything you do with it is that face app where you change gender or add like 20 years. Well, baby sister, who I was strange with, but she put Sebastian Stan through it. Add like 20 years. He looks like Mark Hamill now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's perfect.
He practically looks like a clone. It's incredible.
I think
The only thing
maybe-
they had to do is put a wig and have Hamill do the voice.
I
But
see
then
what
you-
you did there by
Yeah.
saying he looks like a clone. That's funny.
somebody was Mark Hamill around Sebastian Stan's family around that time. I
Yeah,
think
That's a
so.
good question.
Right? There must be a connection here. Like we need to connect the dots right now. Let's look up into Ancestor.
Did he
website.
tap that? Who knows?
That's Stan's mom.
Maybe she was working on the crew on Star Wars. I don't know, man.
Is Sebastian's last name really Hamill? Is it?
Yeah, right. Sebastian Hamill.
Sebastian
let's just-
Stanley's Hamill. Yeah.
I mean, there was no morning show back then, so you meet a celebrity, you don't tell the husband that you met Luke Skywalker.
He already said he
That's
wasn't going near Carrie
true.
Fisher's too high maintenance. So I was like, no.
It's well, just look at Maria Shriver. She didn't know for 20 plus years. So it
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was pre-Maury days.
Stan may need to ask his mom some questions.
I know, man. I know. I mean,
Use
you know,
the Jedi interrogation techniques there.
Alex is saying, hey, if Mando goes the way the rumors are claiming, and it circumvents the entire Disney tragedy timeline, it could be a resurrection. And
It must happen.
Right.
If
This
they
is the way.
Yes, yes, this is the way. If they skew the timeline,
Mhm.
then what we just saw was a masterpiece to me.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I
I
think
don't see
Midnight
that
says that
happening.
in the title of this video, Mandalorian success, Kathleen Kennedy's failure is complete.
I love the delay so much. I don't want this to stop, by the way. I love the delay.
They're loving the fact you're 5 seconds behind everything.
Darth Vader, you are the father, says.
Well, in this
Max
case, he'd be
Rottenstein.
the grandfather.
Yes.
Oh, I hear that, Jennifer
Oh,
Sisko.
they
That
tweaked
is
it,
so true.
but it's also a small screen, so the resolution doesn't be big. But I still think in that case, especially, a deep fake would have been better.
Yeah, we were chatting about that yesterday.
Yeah, I
that
heard that. She's listening
the deep fake tech
Mhm.
versus the CG, and this looked like straight CG
Yeah,
to
it
me.
was still a little dodgy. It was kind of it looked nice, but it was still a little obvious.
And they
Yeah.
played with the voice too in post.
Yeah,
I
I
know
think
that
they
they
did.
did put it through the
They
modulator.
most definitely did.
It sounded
Yeah,
a little
absolutely. The
processed.
soundboard. Yeah, they put that voice because there's no way that's Mark Hamill's voice.
Nope.
I mean, you go from the Joker to to that, and it just is not the same.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
Flavor
don't think Hamill's
Flav,
voice changed that much.
I
think
have
they should-
I have not heard your reaction on Luke yet.
All right.
On Luke, I've watched the episode now 3 times, and I actually don't mind the overall look of the CG. Now, my complaint with it is when he speaks. It looks very awkward when he speaks, but when he's just kind of doing his stare, I mean, if that's what you want to call it, his stare. I don't mind, but once he speaks, I'm like, ooh, yeah, that kind of looks like, it kind of reminds me of when I'm watching like Bruce Lee movies.
And
You
it wasn't
are-
a deep. It wasn't a
I
deep
must fight you.
conversation. It wasn't a deep conversation.
Here, let me show my camera.
No.
It's just like this. We must fight now. That's what it was like with Luke.
Now that was funny.
Yeah.
Now that was funny.
That's what I thought about was Bruce Lee movies when I saw that. That's bar than that. I mean, just seeing that scene, and I actually got the tears again, and I was like, oh, that'll be a one-time thing. But oh boy, I felt that again the second and third time, dude. There's just that moment just felt so good to see. Like,
Yeah,
ah,
yeah. Man of War makes a good comment
Yeah.
here. Kurt Russell in Guardians 2,
Mhm.
it was perfect.
Oh man,
I
Kurt
mean,
Russell's
There are,
awesome in that.
there are techniques though. You can actually do makeup thing. You just sort of little because they did with Dick Cavett in Forrest Gump.
Michael Douglas in the Ant-Man movies looks the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Douglas,
By
But there's
far
actually
and
stuff we can do
large.
live on the set. We just do a little bit of tape under the thing and a little wig, and pull back the wrinkles a bit. Not to point you look like a wind tunnel, but just enough to look younger.
yeah, a little bit of a lift.
It's been a few years in the show, and it's been a few years since Jedi. So
Yes.
Luke can look a little more ragged, and I think they really could have gotten away with bringing in Mark for real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's covered up all the way to here. You can
Yeah, it's,
hide the
yeah.
double
You just
chisel.
get him nice, cleanly shaved,
just,
and
even if it's a little
Point
beard,
lip.
just dye the gray, whatever. Just
yeah.
Do you
But I
know
think
why
that-
they didn't get? Do you know why they didn't go with Sebastian Stan? Do you
Well,
really know
they're-
why?
He was
They're busy.
filming Winter Soldier at the time.
yeah, they're probably that tied
Yeah.
to that.
One, he might not have been available. Two, this is really much a fan-driven idea. This isn't a Favreau and Filoni-driven idea.
Yeah,
Stan did say he would do it.
Yeah,
he's not
so would I.
do it.
Don't forget, Rosario Dawson was originally a fan idea too, and look what
Yes.
happened.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think that was a deep rumor too, and I think that got out to the fans, and they went, "Hell yeah!" But I think that what happened here was they're throwing this to the fans. This is a I think this is an olive branch that they're really trying.
hoping
Besides the plot issues and besides the terrible deep fake or CGI vision of his face and the let's take all of that into perspective here. That this was a olive branch, I think, where they're saying, look, we understand that the diehard fans are out there and they're upset with us. Let's throw the Mark Hamill and bring him back the way he should be, even though it's just his voice. Now, that's not to say that this is going to heal all wounds, because it isn't. It's a good step, but I think that you prevent the big argument of, well, if they had brought Mark Hamill in, this would have been better. This would have made me happy, because that's the argument you're going to get. And you can't keep everybody happy here, because it's a very complicated situation. I don't think he was originally planned to be the Jedi that walked up there and got the child. I think that was supposed to be Ezra. I think it was supposed to be Ezra. And then they went, well, after the halfway point in this, they said, why don't we do something really big? And that's what they did. And
I agree.
I would bet they probably got it past Kathy saying it was going to be Ezra.
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure she was not told, because she's been kind of exiled from any creative control over the Mandalorian.
Yeah, Jennifer Sisko.
So it may have been like, no, we'll have Ezra or somebody else like that, or Ahsoka come in.
Yeah, I mean, Jennifer Sisko says they've got a lot of making up to do, and she's right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
V-Dub, I want you to respond to this question from Red Shirt, because I think it's a fair one, and I'm curious to hear your take.
Okay, why would am I on? Okay, yeah. Why would because I'm actually in the process of masking up, because sometimes I don't feel like turning on the mask I'm putting it on. But okay, why
do you got a Cubs hat for me this time, or maybe a Colorado Avalanche hat?
I like the Cubs. They were the lovable losers for so long. So as a Lions fan, I'm hoping that we can get some of that Cubs magic. Why would Favreau Filoni make something KK hates only to tie her back to the trilogy is a very good question, and the answer to that is something I don't know. But they did tie it back to the trilogy in this episode. They keep talking about order and Grogu. They still got Grogu's blood, and that seems to be the origin of Snoke and the origin of the First Order, unless there's something divergent to happen. But they are definitely teasing that they're still going to head to the Disney tragedy anyway.
Yep.
And let's also, when you bring up KK, I said this on one of these streams, if 5 years ago you would have said to Kathleen Kennedy, hey, your movies are going to make $5+ billion combined, and 5 years to the day of the release of The Farce Awakens, everyone's going to be talking about Star Wars like it's the biggest thing going, and talking it up how big it is and how it's going to change Disney because of the Disney Plus platform, and all
the curve goes.
You know what I mean? But like, just if you have no knowledge of what happened in between, you would think, and I'm saying this because that's what some of these investors think like.
That's fair. That's fair.
You say, oh, Kathleen Kennedy, you're doing such a good job, and you're a woman's face, and everything hasn't been perfect, but look, we're still on track, and the fans are still happy, so we're happy to deal with you another 1,700,000 years, especially when you have Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's old assistant with all the dirt.
Yes, former personal assistant to known creep Harvey Weinstein.
There is the matter of just basic market research. Can find plenty of, it doesn't take a whole lot to find a thing. Kathleen Kennedy must go. She's the Antichrist. She's killing Star Wars. And the box office, the last one made $1 billion, but the first one made $2 billion.
Yeah, I mean, losing half
There's
your
a
audience.
definite drop from $2 billion down to about 1.5, down to it struggled to make that $1 billion.
And in the
That should be
boardrooms right
happening in a
now,
Star Wars movie.
and in the boardrooms right now, the Disney executives are all sitting there going, well, we're not making movies anytime soon that are going to make $1 billion. What's our seller right now? Okay, we had a great season 1 of The Mandalorian. Let's see if we can build on that. KK, you develop whatever shows you want. That's fine. Mr. Filoni, Mr. Favreau, you're now in charge of The Mandalorian. You run it like you want to run it, and we'll go from there. I wonder if they did an end run around KK, because I think there's two factions in this corporation right now. You've got the Filoni faction with Favreau there, who is a tried and true Hollywood big shot. Bam!
Yeah.
That is instant money to those boardroom execs.
Yeah, Filoni doesn't have that kind of cred outside of Star Wars, but
that's
Favreau
right.
does, yeah.
Right,
Favreau,
right. And you've got KK, who brought Spielberg coffee. Like,
Pretty much.
and you've seen
And
her
not
failure
more.
to this
Mhm.
point. So
Yeah.
yes, you're the president right now of Lucasfilms, but you still report to somebody. And I'm thinking that right now there's that juxtaposition of the two groups right now that are, you've got KK's diehards that are 100% behind her and who she's hired in there, and you've got the Lucas people who still believe in his vision and who are
That might be
diehard
my
fans.
Super Bowl 50 hat.
And that's what I think, that's what's going on here. This is a war, and you saw the results of this war at that investors meeting the other day,
Oh, yeah.
where they put up like 500 different shows.
No,
We
None
know
of them
that-
are sequel trilogy.
actually, dear.
There you go. None of them are a
None
new
of them are
trilogy.
sequel. Yeah.
We've got one movie out of that group, one,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know if that's ever going to get off the ground. No pun intended. Rogue Squadron,
Well, I saw a teaser that Patty Jenkins did for that.
which was good. I actually
It's
liked
good.
her.
I
in that.
like that. Yeah, she's talking about how her dad was a fighter pilot,
And she's got the pedigree.
yeah,
So she could make that movie good if done right with the right people around her.
yeah. I like that. She, skating across the tarmac and talking about her dad, and and she's had a goal to make the best fighter pilot movie around. And so now I'm getting a chance to make a movie about two things I like. And she's pulling on the jumpsuit and the helmet and walking towards the next one. Like, yes, okay, I like this. She's got the right attitude.
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm reading what Max is saying about having Hamill having done the scene himself, and I'm just going to be completely honest. He's going into some technical talk that I just don't know jack shit about. I'm assuming what he's saying here is it would take some more money and a better camera setup.
I think the fans would have forgiven Mark Hamill showing up pretty much as is.
Yep. I think as long as he's shaved.
Like I said, just the simple little makeup techniques of a little bit of taping to remove the wrinkles on the forehead, and then there, put a wig on him if need be.
You could have still had
dye the gray in the beard.
And you could have still had your stunt double go in there, right? You could have had the stunt double do all the action scenes.
Oh yeah,
because we don't see him anyway. We don't see him. He's
got
I mean, he's wearing a cloak and robes. He could put on 50 pounds. You wouldn't know the difference.
Yep.
But I think just having Mark Hamill as Luke. I don't care if he looks 20 years older.
Yeah. Mary's got an interesting question. She wants to know why Mando didn't flip out when Gideon told him he'd already had the kid's blood and had everything that he needed. And I don't know. What do you think, Flavor Flav?
You also see in the report that they had blood before, it didn't work. They had rows of corpses.
He used it all. He burned through it all. That was the thing. Yeah.
So what are you thinking, Nick?
What am I thinking with this whole Kathleen Kennedy? The idea of the two factions would not surprise me whatsoever. I didn't even think of that. But what I think is that as far as where the sequel trilogy goes, I think the best outcome we can imagine out of this possible is elements of the sequel trilogy, a la the First Order, will make it as a canon thing, but stuff like Rey and Finn and Poe will just never be brought up and talked about and thought about again. So that's where I think, like I said, I think elements of the sequel trilogy is the best outcome we get. If it gets even better where it's none, awesome. But I think that's the most realistic, hopeful outcome we can get. Now, let's think about it this way, okay? No matter what happens, even the Empire, the First Order, or whatever you want to call them, they're going to have their moment where they're going to bounce back. So no matter what name you put on them, they're going to bounce back. So, and obviously they're going to stick with the name the First Order. Could it be done better? Sure. But could Rey be done better? No.
Well, I mean, we do know that all these Mando-related shows they're going to tie together, and they have a single big bad, and we know who that big bad is.
Ron. Yep.
I mean,
right.
you could very easily skew the timeline. So I mean, we know that Thrawn and Ezra got thrown out into the far reaches of the unknown regions, and the world between worlds and all this was involved.
Yeah.
You could easily skew the timeline through the return of Thrawn from the World Between Worlds.
I would love for
Take a
that to
good
happen.
hard look at the logo for the Ahsoka series.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
logo
I saw
is
that
the-
logo,
is
and
the
I
veil
thought
of the
about
Force.
that season finale of Rebels because of that. No, I mean, like I said, that could
Mm-hmm.
happen too. I'm being realistic because I don't want. This is not something I personally want to dream about, as this is going to completely go away. But I mean, like I said, if it completely goes away, where it's an alternate timeline or never thought about again, yeah, I mean that would definitely be preferable, of course. But
Yeah.
we'll see. It would seem to me a bit of a pipe dream to think that this would all just go away. But we'll see. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong.
I can sum it up in one word: McClunky.
Oh, God
This
damn
thing has
it.
been revised upwards and downwards 6 or 7 different times.
Even Bib Fortuna said McClunky at the end of the
Oh
end.
man, dude! I forgot that was his name. I'm like,
Star
that
Wars
fat
canon
thingy.
is in a loose leaf binder. Okay, pull it out, throw it out, get put. Yeah.
Yeah, where the hell
Not hard bound.
was
Okay?
Salacious Crumb? I want to know where Salacious Crumb was and why Boba did not blow his little rat ass away. That's what I want to know.
guys.
He may have
It's,
been the
it's
one
like
on the street
Doomcock
trying
with
to
his
hook up to the
finger.
Mandalorian.
It's Doomcock and Harvey with Doomcock's finger over the button, man. You're pushing my buttons when you're talking about Boba Fett.
How did you like Sasha Banks DDTing him through a table?
I thought that was actually kind of funny.
It was a wrestling move that's better left on WWE. This 100-pound woman doing that flip on Boba. He's got to be what, 240 probably in that armor,
He's
plus
big
another
guys.
100 for the armor.
He's
and all
got to
the
be
gear.
pushing 300 plus. You got to
Oh
remember,
yeah, dad
this
bod
is dad
included.
bod Boba.
Yeah.
I mean, with the armor,
Leverage.
yeah,
Use the opponent's weight against him.
Yeah, I mean, Alex makes a good point here, though, and I'm very curious to hear your reaction to this as well, V-Dub, because one of the things we got told at the Disney Investor Day when they were talking about their plan for moving forward about how to develop and create their streaming content, they talked very specifically about using data-driven analytics, dealing specifically with the audience's reaction. And Alex has brought up that you're going from a 20 million people fan base for Star Wars fans in these Facebook groups, the official ones. And they created, sort of these subgroups off of that for the High Republic and, Mando-based timelines. And you got 40,000 reactions to the Mando stuff, and you got like 1,300 to this High Republic stuff. And really specifically about things like the return of Luke. And if they are truly doing what they told their investors they were doing, which is building content based on the audience reaction and interaction, I mean, I got to believe the possibility of the timeline skewing gets stronger.
I would agree with that. I mean, nobody wants KKs. I was going to go to work, but then I got High Republic. But I remember that song. I just thought about it. So,
That sounds like an
apologies coming.
yeah. So I had to toss that out because people were talking about weed and their neighbors. But there's two things. One, I just thought of this now, and I don't know why I hadn't. And this goes for not just for this, but other fandom. Will it get too complicated for normies to retcon it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is not just that. This is with the alternate universe that Marvel and DC are going to start doing in their movies and the multiverse. Like, is this going to get too complex for normies to understand? And
Not if you're explicit about it, I think.
I think Favre and Filoni votes for, who cares about the normies? They're not the ones paying the bills from those parts.
That's true. That's very
They
true.
don't buy the merchandise. They don't go back over and over again to the movies. They'll see it once you get it. Yeah,
I think the only people buying Baby Yoda right now is the normies.
Yes.
But they'll buy Baby Yoda regardless. They'll buy whatever. If you give them something cute, they'll buy it.
Oh, did you see the baby Jabba thing there that was dropped earlier?
Well, that was from Clone Wars.
I was gonna say that was from Clone Wars. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that episode.
Oh yeah, the first
That
episode.
was season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they have to come up with something because now, unless the child is going to come back, which we had some foreshadowing of that, but they need something else to latch onto there. So he's either got to get a new acolyte, he's got to find a foundling, some kid he's got to rescue, an orphan that's like maybe another alien or something in order to be able to move forward here. And if he's going to be a Mandalorian and kind of follow his story into a new story whereby, he was a child and that's how he became a Mandalorian. And then if he finds another orphan, I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do next. So they're going to have to go cute school if they're going to keep this cuteness factor going. They have to be thinking that. They have to be.
I mean, the cuteness factor is
they might have
important.
Mando join. I think they might have Mando join Bo-Katan in their fight to restore Mandalore.
I think that's the plan as well. But Thoth makes a good point about the cuteness factor, and I'm going to reference my girlfriend as why this cuteness factor matters. All right. So she had not seen anything Star Wars since Return of the Jedi. She did not see the prequels. She did not see the Disney tragedy. And by the way, all hail to Geek Tropology, who is in the chat, who invented that term, the Disney tragedy. I made sure to keep him highlighted to call that out because that was all from our good buddy Geek Tropology.
His comments are on point tonight. I see everything. That dude's right. He is hitting the notes, man. He needs a chat one of these days.
Take a bow, Geek. Take a bow. We love you, brother.
But so she hadn't seen anything outside of Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi. And I had her watch Mando. And what got her hooked was the cuteness of Baby Yoda, subsequently Grogu. Okay? She went so far as to buy her first piece of Star Wars merch that was a Grogu giant coffee mug. Okay.
My wife did the same thing. She bought that $20 Costco thing and she's like, "Look what I bought." And I'm like, "You hate Star Wars." What?
You know what?
Right.
Me to another question. See, you guys are saying, well, they have to replace Grogu. I assumed there would be just like a slight time jump and Grogu would be back. I don't know if you can cousin Oliver Grogu.
Ooh,
I think
that's
that
a good
would cause
point.
backlash amongst the normies who have found Baby Yoda beloved. And I'm pro Grogu. I'm pro Baby Yoda. I like him. I like the character. I think not just because he's cute. I mean, there is a story that they told about Mando, this lost character who doesn't even know his own religion. Look at
there you go. There's a Grogu right there.
There he is.
V-Dub, we should get you a Grogu mask.
I would wear Grogu mask. You guys should. I have a PO box.
Yeah.
We gotta get it done. Yeah.
I have seen those masks. They do exist.
I have that same Grogu for $25 I got at Target. I got it too. Yeah.
But that tells you something.
I want a
right there.
dark saber, by the way.
Yeah, that's the cuteness
If I
factor.
can get
There
the
you go.
Walmart, I'm getting me a dark saber.
Yeah.
Yeah, VW is right. They could bring him back. I don't know if they're going to do that though. Maybe it's season 4 then.
Yeah, there's going to be a drop off in viewership if Grogu's indeed gone. I mean, that's what brought my girlfriend to be a huge fan of Mando. It wasn't Din Djarin, it wasn't Bo-Katan, it wasn't Ahsoka, it was baby fucking Yoda.
Yep.
Ask Captain Roberts, his agent, whether or not she would go without Grogu. Mrs. Captain Robert, would you be happy with a replacement for Grogu? I'm asking you specifically.
What do you think? Replacing Grogu with some other little cute little, what's it?
I still want Baby Yoda.
He's gone off with
Exactly.
See, the same answer as Jennifer Sisko, the same answer as my girlfriend.
No replacement. Any replacement is uncivilized. We will not accept anything.
Sounds like I'm getting that here too. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think they'll go with another cute little baby thing. I think it's going to be now. Okay, here's Mando with a couple of Mandalorians with him. God knows what the Kara's going to do, but you're welcome to join. It's like I was half expecting during the thing of here, take it, and she can't because he has to win it in battle. I was expecting to say, hit me. What? Just hit me. Blam! Okay, I give up. Here.
Yeah, you can do this the easy way. It's not a battle to the death. Nowhere is it said a battle to the death. So it's just combat. You go, okay, go ahead, bam, done. But he said it's the story. And the problem you have is everybody there you can trust except for one person who they bring into the New Republic alive. And he could spread that chaos by saying, I witnessed the fight. That is not how it happened.
So don't do it in front of him.
Let's go to the back room here.
And once he hits the saber. Okay, I give up. Yeah.
Him surviving to the end adds a whole bunch of problems.
Yeah.
It should be interesting to see how they solve that one.
Yeah, it's. I mean, my
biggest Imperial. No one will believe him anyway. So.
I want to see an episode where Thrawn or whoever is the next level boss sends assassins to try to kill him. That's what I want to see.
Oh, we need Rook and the what's the Nogri?
Yeah, the Nogri. Let's see the Nogri.
Bring them in.
Bam. You have a Yasomari there too as part of the team.
Oh, yeah.
How did he get that dark saber in the first place? I think Mark Maul.
We don't know.
Yeah. So therein lies a story too.
Yeah, and she's still alive. So Bo-Katan, he said
Gideon is too. So
Bo-Katan had this.
Explained.
Bo-Katan had this, but she doesn't have it any longer. Well, how did you get it? And she's still alive. Good point.
Yeah, I think that Gideon's out from here on out. Esposito is a big enough name with enough other work that I don't think we're going to see him back unless maybe like in season 4 or maybe in Rangers of the New Republic, maybe Thrawn busts him out of prison or whatever. But I think the next couple of seasons in this Favreau-Filoni verse, I don't think we're going to have much Moff Gideon.
I think there's enough surviving people from Alderaan that wouldn't necessarily be nice in the interrogation.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of tears shed.
Yeah.
A lot of tears shed.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, though, because, you look at the ladies in the chat, and to a woman, each of them is, they've all bought Baby Yoda stuff. Every single one of them.
Mary G says that Baby Yoda is my Patronus.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing I've seen all day.
I have my this guy back here. So I did run it by her first because we were tight on money at the time. I was like, look, I'm in Walmart right now. I'm looking at there's only one of these Baby Yodas left.
Yeah.
About $30. Buy it. Okay.
Yeah. So all the ladies are all about Baby Yoda. And let's be honest. That's a big part of the success of this show. It absolutely is. So what do you do to not kill that?
Bring your Baby Yoda back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider the idea that he wouldn't come back. I assumed, this is my assumption, that we would open up and maybe Din Djarin is in the process of trying to get Mandalore back with Bo-Katan, and Baby Yoda is being trained, and throughout season 3 there would be some maybe Din Djarin's trying to get back to Baby Yoda, see how his training's gone, and that may be the central plot depending on what happened. Or maybe Moff Gideon's gone, but there's another big bad, maybe Thrawn, maybe someone else, but that's using Baby Yoda's blood for whatever they're going to use it for.
Yeah. And Chris Hatfield in the chat, he says he wished they'd done the Heir to the Empire trilogy by Zahn. And ever since Ahsoka name dropped Thrawn in the 5th episode of this season, honestly, Chris, that's what I've been convinced they're planning to do.
I think someone jump on that title, that typo. They're hired to the Empire. It's like, yeah, the Empire's hiring.
Yeah, well, you can't edit your posts in YouTube.
I know. I hate that. Spell check something. I had to program in certain words.
But yeah, that's that's what I've been convinced they're planning to do since we got the Thrawn name drop. We know that all these interconnected shows, Rangers, Ahsoka, Mando, presumably the Book of Boba Fett, we know they're all going to tie in, and we know they're building to a large culminating event that could even end up in cinema. Who knows? And so if you're setting that up, And we know Thrawn's going to be the big bad. They did not name drop him for no reason. You could easily be setting up an adaptation of the Heir to the Empire.
Well, they'd have to significantly change it, obviously.
Well, yeah, there's some things you'd have to change. Yes,
you have Mara
Ron
Jade,
changed it
and
before.
you have Jorah Sabbath, you have Talon Card. You're gonna have several characters there that really they've kind of moved away from that part of the universe. I think that we're gonna have Rebels Thrawn, which has been awful, and the new trilogy that Timothy Zahn wrote. I've read the first two novels. They're okay. They obviously castrate him quite a bit in what we had in Heir to the Empire, which was he was a emperor level big bad.
Yes, he was.
So you're not going to have that same level of ability, because when we saw him in those novels, he was unstoppable, and the only thing that stopped him was it was artfully done when his own bodyguard killed him. So the only way he could be stopped, because he was taking everything over again. He was piecemeal taking apart the New Republic. He was setting up his shipyards. He had Quaid drive yards. He had it all set up. And
he got
was
the
taking all that
dreadnought
over.
fleet.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he had a Jedi on his side that he controlled with the Yasunari there. Yeah, Jorah Sabbath. So you've got a whole bunch of things there which they're not going to have in this now, because they've rewritten that history and that's gone. They can take pieces of it, I think, maybe. There's some great ideas there, but yeah, we're never going to see the Heir to the Empire trilogy there. That would have been awesome, though.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the plan. I mean, it's pretty clear. If the big bad isn't Thrawn, I mean, I'll eat my hat kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
There's no way in hell Thrawn is not the big bad.
No way. Like you'll just name drop him from a very vital character like Ahsoka Tano. That set the grand stage. Like that's when you realize Moff Gideon is not the big bad. He's a villain and a cool one, but he's not the Vader of this thing. Like he's no longer the Thanos type that they're aiming for. It's definitely Thrawn, and Thrawn already has a claim right out the bat, so it's a smart move to do Thrawn right at the bat. He already has an audience that loves the character. Fans eat up that character, and how could you not? And of course, you got people who discovered him through Rebels as well. So you got these audiences who know that character, and that's a good move to do. So if they don't do Thrawn, then they be eating themselves, fucking themselves, because seriously. I want to see live Thrawn. Now that I mention, I'm like, give it to me. No, come on, do it.
We get, Captain Paleon on the Chimera. There's a few things that were dropped here too that I think a lot of people who weren't deep dark fans of Star Wars missed too, from the books. I'm talking. You had Cara Dune named organization drop Moff Gideon. He was part of the ISB. He knows stuff. We want him alive. So the intelligence security branch, right? You've got the Imperial Intelligence Agency that he was a part of, where you have the head of that was Ysain Isard, who is a woman, which would be prime character to bring in to have a female bad girl.
Sure.
So there's something there too,
Wait
right?
a minute. Do you like your girls bad, Thoth?
I like them. Don't tell my wife, because she's a good girl. That's why I like Cara Dune so much, because you know what? She's a good bad girl. There's a lot of opportunity there that they can take piecemeal that they've been doing.
It will break your neck in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's why you love them. Do that judo throw on me, absolutely. I'll even wear stormtrooper armor if it helps.
We're just making it into a whole kink now.
Pew, pew. I bet if you go to the
stormtrooper suit and all, give me the Death Star.
Nick, I'm giving you a homework assignment. You need to go see if that's already on the hub. Let us know next week.
I'm sure it's on the hub.
It is. Rule 34.
Like seriously, Lord thought that in the stormtrooper suit, Cardu walks in. I already see the scenario playing out the dialogue, and then Lord Thoth says to Carl, Give me your Death Star. I want it. I already see the scene playing out.
Oh, what, Chewie? I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, Geek Tripology is saying he could wait, and if the Yuzon Vong are in the mix, dude, take all the time you can.
I mean, nobody
Wow.
wants to Cara Dune in the Leia, slave bikini or what?
Wow. Yeah.
That could be something.
When we had that scene with you had those 4 awesome female actresses and characters doing their assault on Gideon's troops in the last episode there. That was amazing. And yes, it was just I'll take any one of them.
I don't think I could take any one of them. More power to you, my friend.
Especially if I had poor Baby Yoda's handcuffs on me there. I don't think I could. Take me to your leader. I think that the Yuzang Vong, is that ever a deep cut? So that would be interesting because we'd have to have a Jedi-centric show for that, though, I think.
Yeah.
That's a whole other talk that we could have.
Yeah,
interesting point.
For anybody who's not familiar, to Thoth's point, that's a really deep cut, very far into the extended universe books. That was rolling 30, 40 years post Jedi.
Yeah, that was way deep into it.
Yeah, and this was an alien threat from outside the galaxy.
Well, there was some talk of having Darth Talon and Darth Krayt come into the show here maybe later on. They were thinking about doing that, which was you had a Tusken Raider former Jedi who became Darth Krayt, who became a Sith Lord later on in this whole thing too. There are some interesting things that they could do to bring some big bads into this after Thrawn. They could go all out if they're gonna steal from the expanded universe. There's a whole bunch of great ideas there.
Oh hell yeah, there are, man, and which just makes Darth Cathy's statement about how they had no source material and no 1,000-page novels or thousands of comic books to use to help them.
I want to see video of that.
Oh, there's video.
You're sitting in front of a bookcase full of Star Wars books and graphic novels and everything else. And we don't have these. What's that over your shoulder? Ignore that.
Oh God, I do have that video archived. I don't have it uploaded into StreamYard right now, or I'd play it.
I will never forget that. And Just Some Guy had the best response to that ever when he did a video that Kathleen Kenny. There's not enough lore, guys. This is really tough to go off of, and we gotta do something about that. And then Just Some Guy's response is the best.
Yeah, that was pretty rough stuff, man.
Yeah, the similar thing. One of the writers apparently, and he's got one of the novels on his damn desk, which had very similar things to the story he was supposedly working on. No at all. No, I never knew the fact this book I never looked at and saw before. I don't know where it came from.
So that's all thinking that we're going to get a positive direction for Star Wars in the near future. And I know Vigilante Williamson has said this a lot, and I happen to semi-agree with him in a lot of ways, is that so far they haven't really shown us too much positivity in the direction they're going to take this. We need to take this as one step and not get overzealous here and think about all the really cool things they could give us, because the next show we see could be awful. This Boba Fett thing, I'm going to hold my applause till after I see that next Christmas. I don't know if that's going to be better, but I know that what they've done with Boba so far, I've been very upset with. So I'm not too optimistic about that show. I think that we need to be very careful here. I've seen all the trailer reactions and people going, and crying about this is the most bestest thing ever. And you know what? We're not that far removed from the last trilogy of Star Wars we just watched.
It was
it's not a trilogy. It's the tragedy.
Tragedy.
We call it the tragedy on this channel. All hail Geek Tripology.
And it's not even Shakespeare level tragedy. It's more like, romance novels level tragedy.
I think
Are we
that
talking Nicholas
romance
Sparks?
novels make.
Yeah.
I think Nicholas Sparks makes the authors of the Disney tragedy. I mean, the Disney tragedy makes him look like Shakespeare.
Author of Twilight. She looks like the brilliant author of our time compared to the Disney tragedy.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't believe these are sentences in 2020, but yeah, here we are. Here we are at this point in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hoping that Disney and Lucasfilm and Filoni, Favreau, and even KK are listening to this. I know KK isn't, but I think that a lot of people there are listening to us, and they have to get past the initial joy of seeing Luke kick some ass. And let's take a look here and consider that what you have to keep doing is show us some good shit. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
And you've shown us one good thing. Okay. Let's see where we go from here.
You are complete. I mean, Geek Tropology, I think, summed up where you were going very precisely. And it's a great conversation starter. But if they want to court us, they got to do a bit more to get the second date.
Oh yeah, I'm not putting out. You know what I mean?
That's right, man.
You're
not putting out yet, V-Dub?
No. Yes.
But what if our good buddy Latino Slant asked you out? Because he's in the chat now.
Well,
Hey, Latino Slant. Ollie, good to see you.
Paulie and his lovely wife. I don't think he'll be asking me out ever. So,
For my second date, you better bring me the whole pizza, not just the slice. I want the whole damn thing, man.
Hey, and several shots of tequila.
Oh, tequila.
Because
Yes.
you're going to need a lot of tequila to get me past that Disney tragedy.
It would take the whole bottle of tequila to get me past the Disney tragedy.
And the good stuff, too. Right, Paulie?
Tequila.
with Homer Simpson there.
That's right.
I live my life by The Simpsons.
So V-Dub, what would it take to, and I don't think your answer is going to be terribly different from mine, but what does it take for you to embrace what they did with Luke in a go forward for Star Wars? What would actually have to happen to bring you back truly to Star Wars?
Oh, my request is simple: more of it. That's it. Just do more. You have all these shows. You have the opportunity of it. One of my big things that angered me was ironically the book of Boba Fett, because it's like, oh, now you're going to try to do Boba Fett after the past 3 episodes, making him this helpful little manservant instead of the character that he should have been. And so you've already shown me with the original trilogy character that you just brought back that you can't do them correctly. And so that's why I'm so apprehensive about them using Luke correctly. But just make good Star Wars. It's not hard. It isn't hard, because even the first 2 seasons of this show, with all the criticisms that you can put on it, it was Star Wars. So just make Star Wars. Just do your best. You're not going to be perfect. We are going to complain about certain things, but if we still watch and we still call it Star Wars, it's Star Wars. It's not Star Wars when you have Admiral Holdo emasculating people. It's not Star Wars when you have Luke Skywalker drinking blue booby milk. It's not, or green, whatever hell color it was. It's not Star Wars when all of a sudden Leia has force powers and she's flying around like Captain the Planet.
Carrie Poppins.
Mary Poppins through space. That's not Star Wars. And it's, you know what else? It's another thing that scares me, the fact that Darth Vader is the face of the Obi-Wan show. It's like, okay, you guys don't know Star Wars. You still don't know. Maybe Favreau and Filoni knows, but Lucasfilm's a big place. He can't man everything.
That's
and there's
true.
still there who don't get it.
He's still one man at the end of the day. I appreciate what Favreau is doing, and it's great. It's very, especially for us Star Wars fans, it's good to see that a guy like them actually is, hearing out the fans. It's wonderful. But yeah, at the end of the day, he's ultimately one man, and it's good that he has the power that he does, but that power does have a limit. And Obi-Wan might be the proof in the pudding of that.
So Max thinks we should bring in Mario Lopez to shoot the sequel to A Recipe for Seduction, and that would get him on board.
Finger licking good. Yep, finger licking good.
That is a
Oh,
real
God.
thing, man.
You had to go the Colonel Sanders
Dude,
route.
I'm gonna pull it up because this is just too insane.
Dude, I cannot believe they have a KFC movie. Like, man, I used to go to KFC all the time when I was in high school. That was like my life.
How are you so skinny?
You want to know something I did, Thoth, when I was 16? I had McDonald's for 66 straight days.
Oh
And
my
on
God!
all
And you
60
survived.
Wow.
And all 66 days, every meal at least had one McChicken involved. Because McChickens used to be $1 at the time. It was around 2004. And it was around like the 20th day when I would walk in McDonald's and they had a McChicken ready for me as soon as I walked in. That was a great feeling. Like, just, yes, there's my McChicken. Sometimes you would be like, a McChicken with fries, a McChicken with a Big Mac, or a McChicken with a large soda, or a McChicken with fries and a
Milkshake.
soda. Oh, yeah, or a McFlurry, or a Shamrock Shake.
So, this wasn't on the agenda, but since it got brought up,
I'll be 100% honest. I only vaguely saw this and I'm like, oh yeah, there was this. I didn't realize it was called a recipe.
this is real.
It sounds like a KFC porn.
This is real. This was actually filmed. It is a Lifetime mini movie starring Mario Lopez. Yes, AC Slater from Saved by the Bell. AC Slater is Colonel Sanders in A Recipe for Seduction.
Okay, what's my man?
It's on to Rule 34.
This is Rule 34.
Yeah.
In real life on a major network.
By the way.
Yes. This is
What?
real.
This is real, and it better have a famous bull involved.
When I saw that originally, I thought it was a troll. I thought somebody. I thought it was like. Yeah, and then when we talked about it earlier today, I went, "You're kidding me." And we said, the jokes write themselves. We could go on for the next half hour just on, finger licking good jokes. Because, come on.
That is not those are not mashed potatoes in that thing.
I need to toss your coleslaw.
Those are not. And when
Not
they say,
get the gravy on the taters.
and
Special
tossing
sauce.
salad should not be done. Just don't.
Yes, it is. It is all too real.
Everybody, this is Jake D's channel. Tell your friends.
We're finger looking good.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Man, G's right. This is just not right. There's nothing right about a recipe for seduction.
Like KFC, a recipe for seduction.
What's the guy who does the parodies of movies? Axel Braun, is that his name?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Is that the motivation for this?
Can he even parody this? Right?
KFC parody?
No, I'm saying that Lifetime wanted to do their own version of Axel Braun, so that's why they got this together. Because the Colonel Sanders story about him trying to get his restaurant up probably would be an interesting story.
Yeah.
But the recipe for seduction angle is they're like, okay, let's Axel Braun it, let's make it, KFC plus 50 Shades of Grey, so we can get
Yeah, and it's Polly, don't misunderstand. I think to a man, we probably all are totally fine with Mario Lopez. Just the idea that
Gracias, hermano.
It's
the recipe for seduction I actually do like Mario Lopez. Like, I was looking for him in other stuff over the years, and
you got him all right. You got him.
This one's just fully stuffed. That's all.
with drumsticks in you guys' households, but that's not the type of finger looking good I think anybody is looking for.
No.
KFC. That's not what you want. Yeah.
Steph is one way to push the fact that they brought back Saved by the Bell and Mario Lopez is playing Slater again.
Is that a drumstick in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
I'd like the breast, please. Not grilled though. Not grilled though.
I'm a
Maybe
thigh guy myself.
Crispy. I'm a crispy type of guy.
Yeah, I love Mario. I know I have always liked Mario Lopez, and I mean honestly, he was one who he's had the best career of anybody from Saved by the Bell.
You telling me Dustin Diamond didn't have a great career?
Yes, I'm telling you, Dustin Diamond did not have a great career. That's right. I am telling you that.
I might just watch this
on
movie
having
do a
a
review
career
on
as
it.
opposed to trying to find a gig to keep money and keep the money going.
Yeah, Diamond did a couple of those.
Maybe he's in one of the Axel Bronze movies. I don't know.
Hey, whatever pays the bills, brother. I mean it. No, for real. I mean, you do what you got to do to pay the bills. But
you could do a review of this Flavor Flav. There, you could do a
I should.
eat a bucket of chicken. Eat a bucket of chicken while doing a review. That would
I'll wear a bucket on my head. I'll go bucket head style, Guns N' Roses. I'll wear the bucket on my head, reviewing it. I'll go all the way with this. Famous bull and all.
this one's made for you, Nick. It really is.
I have to. Now I have to. It's on like Donkey and Diddy Kong.
The challenge is there.
Maybe, what was the girl's name? Dixie Kong?
Yeah, it was Dixie. Yeah,
Wow.
DK Country 3. Number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, dude, that game was my shit. All right, anyway.
Well, you also review the chicken. Is it still good? Because I don't think anyone's had KFC since like the early 2000s or 90s.
I had KFC like a month ago, and it was great.
Really?
I avoid that like the plague.
I love their coleslaw.
I've been on that
real.
Popeyes chicken sandwich
Yeah, Popeyes.
binge lately. That spicy chicken sandwich for $4.30 over here in Illinois. Like,
Dude.
I pulled to a drive-thru, one spicy chicken sandwich, just a sandwich, done.
It ain't got nothing on Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
No, ooh.
Oh,
I
not
like
the Chick-fil-A, no
Chick-fil-A.
pickle. That's it.
No pickle.
Yeah.
Sandwich with no
Hey,
pickle.
pickle.
My kids would be happy to eat your chicken sandwich because they don't like it with the pickle either, Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
I've always had pickles. I don't know why. Just even dill flavored Pringles. Now forget it. Tried it. No.
Am I like the lone pickle connoisseur here? Thoth,
No.
back me up.
I love my pickles. I love pickles.
Oh, I like your pickles too. You walked into that conversation, so I had to capitalize.
Yep, foot-long dill pickles.
Or is it a mini dill pickle? You got to find out.
Rails?
They
What,
have,
I didn't see any rails. What rails do we go off of? I didn't see any rails.
Oh man!
Oh.
So just for the ladies in the chat, this is what real locker room talk sounds like.
Hey, your pickle tickled?
Yeah, or as it's known in Berserkly, istophobe chicken. Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta
See-
get the tears off my eyes.
See, Mary Sphere's with me here. It's Chick-fil-A, and that's it, man.
No, Chick-fil-A's been
But
usurped by Popeyes.
But Nick, Polly's got your back on the Popeyes, brother.
I got your back too. I
And
think,
V-Dub. And V-Dub.
Popeyes has
ain't
usurped
bad.
Chick-fil-A.
I tried Popeyes. I need to try Wendy's one of these days.
Wendy's is okay.
McDonald's is all right for McDonald's.
Wendy's was sort of disappointing, I'll be honest.
But then Chick-fil-A invented the damn thing. So
Nope.
Oh,
We lost Flavor Flav.
mm.
I'm sure he'll be back.
Chick-fil-A is really good though. Chick-fil-A is really good.
Dude, Chick-fil-A's.
Yeah,
You know what? I bet you he's going off to record his recipe for seduction video. He bailed on us just so he could get that video out.
He needs to
Always get the
he needs
bucket.
to rub some. He needs to rub some of that chicken grease on him there to get it going. I think that up here we don't have a Chick-fil-A, so it would be nice to get one in Canada. It would be because I've heard such good things about it, but I never actually had one.
Dude, if you ever roll down here to Texas, man, I will make sure you get to some Chick-fil-A.
10-4 sounds good to
They
me.
got Raising Cane's out in Texas too. I like Raising Cane's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah. Yeah, they got PFK in Canada instead of KFC.
PFC, yeah, it's
Oh,
the
PFC, whatever
French
it is.
version. Yeah, it's the French.
Yeah. You get poutines. Yeah, I used to live in Michigan, so I used to go to Canada a lot.
Do they have Colonel Pierre there instead of Colonel Sanders?
No, it's Pune.
Couldn't never come down. It's open a Raising Cane's up here. I think it was on Wadsworth.
Oh yeah.
Chicken fingers.
There you
Yeah.
There you go.
Mobile
All right.
again.
I think we've talked Grogu and the recipe for seduction to death for the weekend.
Wow, but that goes to show you how much there is to talk about this show after what just happened. They dropped the bomb on us, and then we're like, "Wow, that was great." And then 3 days later, well, I've watched it 3 times now, and now I'm going, maybe it wasn't so good.
My biggest issue is definitely the neutering of Boba. I mean, V-Dub, Thoth, I am 100% with you guys on that.
Thank you.
He was a badass, no nonsense. I will cut your throat as soon as shake your hand, bounty hunter.
Yeah, not be careful in there, princess.
He literally said, "Be careful." He literally said, "Be careful in there." I had that in my notes. Like, be careful, everyone. Make sure you guys, I'll clean your uniforms after practice. Enjoy, here's your Capri Sun. Everyone,
don't forget to buckle your seatbelt.
Oh, and here's another thing that bothered me. Screw that he was thrown through tables and everything.
Yeah.
What in the world was his motivation for even being a part of this whole adventure to save Grogu? I somebody argue in my review that, he helped cause Grogu to get lost. No. OT Boba would not have cared about Grogu.
Who cares? Like, good luck with that. See you later.
All they needed for this is one line that he wanted Moff Gideon out of the way for his own purposes.
There you go.
Would have saved it. All I need is a throwaway line, like, okay, my little, he had an all I want to see is that he had an ulterior motive, that he was still, he was still Boba Fett. He was playing people to get his goals done. Yeah, he, be careful, whatever, because you're doing my job for me. Moff Gideon's out of the way. The Empire's out of the way. Now Tatooine's mine. If they could have set that up, or just a little line to say, okay, yeah, these guys are really working for me, whether they know it or not, that would have been okay. Boba Fett really was the master, was Boba Fett. He was still playing people. Yeah. He was still kind of a smarmy guy instead of being, I'm just this nice, cheerful, helpful guy. No, now I'm a super villain again. See the book of Boba Fett in a year. It's like, what the hell?
But then I could believe that what he wanted to do with the underworld, because what you've told me so far is, no, he has this code of honor, and he's not really such a bad guy. He's got some conscience. He's got a conscience. He's worried about other people. What the?
Then he walked in and smoked. He's walked in and smoked Bib Fortuna's entire throne room.
Cold-blooded murder is what he just did. But what you've told me is, but he's an honorable guy. But yet now he just goes and murders all these people and sets himself up as the crime overboss. Like, wait, but that makes no sense. Like, why? Like,
although he did look badass on the throne, and Fennec Shan sitting up there.
It was a beautiful. It looked cool.
Yeah, it was a good scene, but it doesn't fit his characterization that you've done in the Mandalorian show. It fits his characterization and what little we saw of him in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, so Captain April, what do you think, man? Was that? What the hell was up with Boba Fett this season?
I'm not. I really am. The only Boba Fett I've really seen is the holiday special. He had more time in that one. Think of that one. Watched the one it aired, and I've watched it. I finally rewatched the animated part. I skipped the rest of it, but the animated special where he first shows up ever, and then Empire, and then Jedi. And also the Tag and Bink are dead stories.
Oh, wow.
I liked and revealed that during the whole thing, during Jedi, that wasn't Boba Fett in the armor. Some of these two, knuckleheads managed, they catch Boba at a bet and knock him out, take his armor to try and sneak on the thing. And it was one of those guys that, they're trying to calm down. Okay, hold down, farm boy. I'm trying to aim, you're causing problems here. And that's why he looks like a bumbling idiot. He's the one that falls into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, Tag and Bink was a comic book for those out there who don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of on the general thing, because the title's basic preference of the old thing, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. It's a parallel story to Hamlet.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it kind of falls along the same story. And this is the same thing with Tag and Bink. You see them crop up like the two stormtroopers on the Death Star. I was like, heard about the two? Yeah, I heard it's must be a drill or something. That's Tag and Bink.
Yeah.
A couple of rebel imposters, they snuck on board, stole some armor, and say, I don't know what's going on. Maybe a drill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, Red Shirt's comment is, Boba provided the cover for the shuttle to get into the launch tube. And for that, he gets Gideon out of the way, which, I mean, if Gideon was going to be on his back for his goal of taking over the underworld, that's a fair comment.
But they should have said something about that. I would have been. I'm cool with that. I'm fine.
I think they did. It was really short because I think the idea was they're going to take the ship. So once they're done, you can go your way. You're done. Okay, fine.
Well, the first introduction that he has to that is he looks up, sees the light cruiser, and says, "The Empire is back." Okay, so if a lot of the from point A to point B don't make sense, because if he knew about Gideon being a problem on Tatooine or wherever for the Outer Rim and for the underworld, if Gideon was a problem, how did he not know him? How did he not look up that cruiser and say, "Oh, that's Gideon"? So then. How long has it been since Baby Yoda's been taken? There's no connecting the dots whereby it makes sense for Boba Fett to want to get rid of Gideon in order to be able to provide him an in on making sure that he becomes a new crime boss or whatever this Book of Boba is going to be. So, yeah, I
mean, clearly he's the crime boss. I mean, you don't do that if you're not planning to take over the operation,
Yeah.
Well, Boba Fett's next probably elsewhere. He's trying to get his armor back after those two idiots Tag and Bink stole from him.
Yeah. And I mean, Paulie makes a fair comment, right? And he's, he said he owed Din and the kid, but as soon as he had that paid back, he was out of there.
Yeah, that's if he has a code of honor, but he's a bounty hunter.
Yes, exactly. Like he shouldn't care that he owed Din. He should be first off, he should have got his armor back from Braylon Givens while he was on Tatooine, but for whatever reason he didn't, and that never made sense. He never got his armor back from Braylon Givens. Okay, so then he gets there, and now he feels indebted, and he rides Mando around all because he felt indebted based upon his word about getting the kid's safety. If I protect the kid's safety, you'll give me the armor, and it's like what like Boba Fett needs a motivation. If he doesn't have he to me, having not got his armor back off Tatooine, and this is 7 years after Return of the Jedi, so there's no reason to be recovering from anything. It's like he had no reason not to get his armor back outside of this. I was the entire time looking for some ulterior motive for this guy to be having a code of honor, especially when, again, they want him to be this crime lord. He either has a code of honor or he doesn't, or maybe this is just bad writing and I'm overthinking it.
Yeah. Well, plus, don't forget where the armor was originally. A bunch of Jawas had it.
Yeah,
I mean, why didn't he just go there, blow up the whole friggin' sand crawler, and just take it back?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will call out one thing that I think is a little bit of a flaw in where you're coming from there, V-Dub. The idea that the criminal underworld and the folks in charge of it can't have a code of honor. And I'm just going to point you straight to Brando and The Godfather. No, I mean it. I'm serious.
You're right.
There's your underworld boss who has a code of honor. He's not a good dude. He kills a lot of people, but there's absolutely a code of honor going on in The Godfather. So you mean?
Well, yeah, he has a code. He has a way. It's a set of rules to prevent chaos. I get that.
So to suggest that
no drugs. Don't do the drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. So the idea that a ruthless bounty hunter who wants to take over the criminal underworld, I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily conflicting with the idea that he also has a code of honor and believes in keeping his word.
I could agree with that, and I will concede that point. That's fair.
But let's not forget that he just had a fight with Bo-Katan and her lackey in a bar, and he wants nothing to do with Mandalorians. He's not a Mandalorian. They've emphasized that several times.
Yeah.
And then so she insults him, and they go away. And then he says, "Oh, but be careful, princess. Don't get yourself killed." I'm like, wait. Okay, so you just insulted me and called me remember what she said about the armor and about him, and that he was an insult to that armor. He said, "My father had this armor." He said, "Well, that doesn't make you a Mandalorian."
Yeah.
And then so he insult his code, and yet he's going to help her out, and then he says, "Oh yeah, and don't get yourself killed." Like that was a silly line. Up to that point, I could deal with it, but then he says that, and it just made no sense from the characterization that I've seen.
Yeah,
You know-
sarcasm, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Mary G on this.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like sarcasm though.
I probably saw the accent in the helmet. You know, something. Yeah. Can't
I
read
thought it did. When I heard it, I thought he was insulting her. I mean,
a princess. Yeah.
that was my live reaction. Now, don't get me wrong. Bo-Katan is it. Now, I don't know the lore with her well from Clone Wars and Rebels, but I mean, as far as I understood it, calling her princess is an insult.
I'm gonna say, yeah. I mean, it definitely is. Well, I mean, here's the one thing that's definitely inconsistent from Rebels, because in Rebels, Bo-Katan actually was given the Darksaber by Sabine Wren, and Sabine Wren is actually the one who genuinely earned it. She actually earned it in combat, but the thing is, Sabine didn't want to be on the planet of Mandalore. She actually wanted to, be with her friends, Ezra, Kanan, Chopper, Zeb, Hera. So she ended up passing on the Darksaber to Bo-Katan, because Bo has been very loyal to her planet on that show. So it did make sense in that sense, since Bo has been more loyal to the Mandalorians than Sabine has, but for some reason, that was definitely a little inconsistency on this show's part for them to have to do battle. Like, I was just like, huh, what? Like, that was one of my minor complaints on this episode, was that Darksaber passing, because it's very inconsistent from Rebels.
You had a great freeze frame there for a second, Nick, where it looked like you were about to make love to that microphone. It was beautiful. By the way, I like the new mic. I do like the new mic.
Thank you. I love it too. I'm just glad I have had people tell me that they can hear me a lot better, which was definitely the biggest point of all this. So thank you, new mic. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Paulie and Jennifer Sisko both took it the same way, that he was insulting her. I mean, that's how I heard it. So I mean, I didn't take it as, yeah, you be careful, don't die out there, princess. I mean, he was telling her that he expected that she was going to die and that she couldn't handle herself. That's what I heard.
I took it as she said, "You know what? Look out for those cannons. Be careful." And he said, "Okay, don't get yourself hurt, princess." I thought he was kind of returning the favor she gave him. Hey, obviously there could be some sarcasm in that. It didn't come off that way to me, but hey, I mean, we all listened and we all hear things differently. I'm obviously jaded because of how I feel about how they've treated Boba Fett, so I might hear things differently than what others might hear. So cool, that's fair.
I get it plenty of, avoid the cans. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah.
I hope so.
Don't get yourself killed. Yeah.
Because I heard how Lord Thoth did. Because I just felt like Boba has been off it the whole time. So maybe you guys are right and we're just hearing things wrong.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens in his show next Christmas.
Yeah.
And that may be the answer to this open question, right? Because I mean, it sounds like we heard it about 50-50. About half of us thought that they were taking jabs at each other. They were insults and sarcasm.
I mean,
and about half of us didn't think that.
Yeah.
There were parts where there were jabs, but I thought that specific scene, I thought like Lord Thoth did, where that specific scene was him being nice to her. And maybe it was just a continuation of the jabs that happened earlier in the bar.
Yeah,
But,
don't forget this is 2020, right? Where no villains are real villains. Everybody is redeemable. So, because he's an irredeemable villain from the original trilogy.
And that's fair.
That's where I kind of come from this position. But
was he an irredeemable villain?
Yes.
I never saw him that way. He was a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Doing his job.
Yep.
How does that make him an irredeemable villain?
Because he captured our heroes.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him. That makes him, neutral.
Another thing that did bother me, now that you mentioned the heroes, is the fact that he was, you avoided a confrontation with Luke. Which was a bit cheap.
Well, he didn't know Luke was coming.
Yeah, I know, but they did. they wrote it. You know what I mean?
That would have been cool, though. I would have loved to see those two in the same room.
But that would have been another 5 minutes on their time, so they would have gone over the 40-minute mark. I mean, that's just awful.
Oh yeah, can't do more than 40 minutes.
Can't
for your
do that.
family.
Yeah,
I mean, that would have been fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boba and Luke in the same room would have been so fucking cool.
That would have added to the moment, honestly.
Yeah.
To have them two together and just kind of feel like, oh man, just that you would feel like Disney's really bringing the OT back in a new era, and you would have had
It'd be like, hey, I remember you. And then the big fight would be on, right? The fight would be on.
They could have just simply like it could have even been good if they just both kind of look at each other and they both just and then Boba said, "Hey, princess."
Oh, that would have been amazing.
I think you're right that though you'd have to have Slave One dock somewhere, and that would have been a problem. And then you would have delayed the whole thing going back to Tatooine and killing everybody. So
yeah,
that's true.
It worked out better.
I'm actually surprised that Mando didn't get Slave One. I'm actually glad that we were wrong on that. Now he's got a whole giant ship now.
Yeah, now he's got a whole giant
ship. He's got a bathroom now. He can get a jacuzzi set up.
And he can take his hat off. And he's got the whole light cruiser. He's got the bounties from Moff Gideon and from Dr. Pershing. Homeboy is rolling in the money now. Right? He's not poor anymore, V-Dub.
Yeah. No more riding around with a platinum chain and a hoopty like he had. With his Beskar, he's been buying for his Beskar 2 or 3 times. People were more interested this season in getting him for his Beskar than they were getting Baby Yoda until the Dark Trooper showed up.
Yeah.
Oh no, screw the kid. Let's grab this guy's his platinum.
I still want to know how Boba Fett got that dent. If that Harmlet is Beskar, how did it get that dent?
That's a hell of a good question.
Yeah, because we've seen how much punishment that Beskar can take.
Yeah.
Yeah, just look at that Dark Trooper. Man, if Mando didn't get concussion or 3.
I think what happened was he met Cara Dune earlier in the trilogy, and that's what happened. She just beat him with her rifle there. She's got so much strength.
Yeah,
that's a good question. It's hard to say.
Like someone had one of the Beskar spears and poked him in the head and sort of.
Oh, that could be it.
Chris.
I'm gonna think of because.
Great, man.
Well, Boba Fett's that couldn't be Beskar because look, he's got a dent in it, so I'll beat the crap.
Damn, Boba, you put on some weight.
You're like 3 inches taller. What happened?
The Sarlacc stretched him out a little. It was already getting out of there. That's why his leg plates don't fit anymore.
Maybe he was out in the belt and the lack of gravity made him get taller.
That'll do it. It was also the first time that armor's had a good paint job in God knows how long. It was also scratched up and beat to hell during what?
Now,
yeah, have you guys noticed that?
Oh, I've noticed that. All right. And
I didn't catch it. What was it?
No, just another red shirt.
That thing again with the mods not being able to post links for God knows.
Oh yeah, it's it started like late Friday, maybe early Saturday, and mods can't and even the channel owner can't post most links anymore.
I'm calling it the anti-Vigilante Williamson rule because you know what I mean? Because in the past 3 weeks, my channel has grown all because of you guys posting links in the mind. Other channels grow like that. I'm joking when I call it me, but a lot of channels grow like that. Is people posting links of the channels?
And that is why it is important to make sure to visit the channels of all of our guests on the panel, all of whom's links are in the description of this live stream.
I know Mary Mayhem's shenanigans last night. She was posting links and they seemed to work fine there.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I've got knocked down like 5 subscribers, and I was just like, granted, I was just like, bro, what are you doing? Because I had a handful that went up after I posted my last Mandalorian review, and then all of a sudden I got knocked back down to 138. I'm like, what the
Oh, I'm down about 20 subs. I was just over 1,300 for a while there. Now I'm back to about 1,280.
It's just weird how that's happening. It's one thing
I
if they're
had-
like bots, but it's just like you go up and then go right back down.
They're deleting
Yeah.
accounts. I have a sub that his account just got yeeted completely. It just deleted.
Mhm.
Wow.
It just deleted his account. He remade it and resubbed. And then I keep having subs. People have subbed over. I've been doing all these streams and they'll sub and then they go away. I'm like, why is the sub going away? So if you have sub to me or any of us on this fine panel, make sure you still are sub to us. And please check the description box or search. Another thing, I can't customize my link yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, neither can I.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's just posting YouTube links in the chat. I think that I'm not even sure if you can, Jake D. It's your channel, obviously, but I'm wondering if you can post links that aren't YouTube and whether or not mods can. I haven't tried it yet. I know that
link worked.
the
Gary-
StreamYard one did.
Yeah, it's really weird. And, I'm going to drop, this is Vigilante Williamson's link, but I bet you none of you guys can see that in the chat, can you?
No, we
Not
cannot.
yet.
Yeah. And it's so weird that that's not going through.
It's an anti-small channel. They're trying to stop small channel growth.
You're missing the point that the small channels is where the series came from.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Broadcast
not
yourself
showing
with
up
the
big.
logo for how long?
Yeah. I just dropped V-Dub's link in there and nobody can see it
Yeah.
except me. I can see it. That's it.
You know what?
Yeah, it's not there.
Put another link. Put just a random link of something like
Amazon or something or whatever. Yeah. Just try that.
I'll
And
put
if
my
that works-
backslash.
Because let's see, if another link works and the YouTube links don't, then we know this is specific to channels. Because why
Yeah.
else would you censor yourself?
I figured I'd try a silly, stupid one and put Amazon.com in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
try that.
Oh, good test.
Post it.
Oh, it didn't even come through as a URL, interestingly enough.
Nope.
Okay. It's not
Yeah,
coming
well,
through.
there you go. It's
Okay,
pretty
at
much
least
all links.
All links.
It's a conspiracy.
But the
CIA
stream
did it.
now, I'm wondering if so this must
Did
be
you guys see
hardwired
that?
in the code because if they're allowing the StreamYard links, because you can drop StreamYard links in there. I've seen it a couple of times,
Darn.
but the other ones, I wonder if it's picking it up in the code.
Wonder if it's
Huh.
HTTPS only.
It might be.
That might be the issue.
I tried dropping earlier on my stream, and I saw it, but no one else did.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Because it allows you to put it in there, but it doesn't. That's specific coding. That's very specific coding and hardwired right into the code.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the StreamYard invites are HTTPS. Everything
Yeah.
else we're trying to drop is not.
yeah,
That could be it.
because our channels aren't. Wait, our channels are HTTPS, aren't they?
Not the links to our channels that where if you go to watch a video, no.
Huh.
Well, weird.
Memo to any YouTube people watching this thing right now. Fix it back the way it was to about 2015.
Pretty please.
Then.
I think some big channels are on it because there's been some talk this weekend. So hopefully, I know Gary's on it. I know Doomcock's on it. I know some big names are on it. So we'll
Yeah.
hopefully. I'm wondering if this is to prevent the proliferation of our channels because we're all starting to grow because we all are part of that big mass group, right? That we're all liking each other and watching each other's videos and stuff. So we're all growing, and that's part of it. I think I have 20 subscribers now. So
Hey, I'm one of them.
I've been left in the dust, but I used to give shout outs to Doomcock, for God's sakes.
yeah.
Oh,
He
man.
passed me like I was standing still, which I technically was.
That's all right, man. It takes all types. I never expect to be that size channel.
Yeah, I don't expect to be monetized if ever I get enough subscribers. I feel like they won't, but it's just still like, man, still put in quite a bit of work. I feel like all I've been doing recently is YouTube, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But I mean, if people want to unsub to me because I'm terrible, that's fine. I am terrible.
You're not terrible, man. You're awesome. I love watching your videos.
There is a
You have-
reason why we all keep inviting you to our streams, Vito.
awesome take. Love it.
But
This
they don't
is this is kind of trippy. Right? Look at this comment from Jaffo. So he's trying to search Minotaur on Instagram. and get some BS about searches being limited due to election misinformation.
Not surprised.
Wow.
Not
Minotaur?
surprised. Yep.
Welcome to North Korea, boys. That is creepy.
I have.
Maybe it's because you have Nazi Spock in your the thing there. Oh wait, I said the N word. I'm sorry.
Nazi.
The other N word. The other Sorry about that, Jake.
The National Socialist Party of Germany, anyway.
What's the problem?
Hey, So we are getting closer to the end here, guys. I always try to get done by about 7:30 Central, and we have not had a chance to talk about either The Expanse or The Stand yet. So quick poll in the chat and on the panel. Which one do you want to hit? B-Dub?
I've seen actually neither. So
okay.
Neither over here.
Lord Thoth?
I don't know. I'm stuck too.
Have you seen both?
No, I haven't seen. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay,
I haven't. I haven't seen The Stand yet. Like I said, I'm waiting for the first 3 episodes.
Okay, well, I'm seeing The Expanse mainly. So we'll go into The Expanse, by God.
There we go. That's good. Okay, I can live with that.
Since we're rolling into something that you haven't seen now, VW, you are welcome to stick around and comment on what we've got to say. But if you'd rather get rolling, by all means, your call, brother.
I actually am going to get out of here because it was something I had to do probably not too.
All right, got anything you want to plug before you go?
I want to just thank you guys for having me on. As many weeks as you had and everyone else's channel. I do a podcast and I do talks about pop culture, politics, news, and even terrible Nirvana covers every now and again. Terrible covers of other things. When I feel like it, I'll actually try to do better covers and release them when I get to that point. But just check and make sure if you did sub to me that you are sub to me. And if you would go ahead, Vigilante Williamson, if you search it, or if you can find the link in the description if YouTube hasn't eaten it, feel free to sub to everyone else on this fine panel. And make sure you sub, because YouTube is being funny. But thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good evening.
You too.
All right. What about you, Nick? You want to, since we're moving into The Expanse, you want to take an opportunity to check out, or are you going to hang around?
I'm gonna check out because I actually do want to check out The Expanse, and I just sadly have just being a dad, being a YouTuber, being work, and consuming everything I consume, food and music it's a life. So you gotta balance between them all. So this will be my plug, but I want to say thank you, Jake, as always, Vigilante, Lord Thoth, and the captain himself. Nice to meet you, by the way. And yeah, hope to do this again. And this panel's been great. A lot of laughs, a lot of KFC love. So yeah, 32 flavors of Nickweiser.
I am waiting for your recipe for seduction review, buddy.
I promise.
I want that. I want it now.
It's coming. So now that gives me an extra video to do because I'm right now. I just got my list assembled for the best albums of 2020 according to Nickweiser. So after that, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna do that KFC video because I need something to hold me over until WandaVision when I do episode reviews for that. So KFC. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's on. But yeah, hail to the chat. All of you guys, you're wonderful. Be well and have a magical evening. And you on the panel, all of you gentlemen, have a good evening as well. I'll talk to you all very soon.
All right, Nick. Appreciate it, brother.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
All right, Captain April, you're up for talking Expanse, yes?
I never seen it actually.
Oh well,
I didn't even click on the thing, but I did see a bit of The Stand. And we've watched the original miniseries over and over again.
All right. Well, I'll give you an opportunity. I mean, you're welcome to hang around while Thoth and I talk Expanse, or if
there'll be lots of spoilers, so you might.
That's true.
Yeah, and actually, I just found poking around. Star Wars Comics has done a deep fake with the Luke scenes between on the Mandalorian.
And I bet it looks better, doesn't it?
I'm gonna point out they kind of de-age Hamill too much. They made him look like he does in the first movie. It's like they forget Hamill was in a car accident, and there was some changes by the time he got the Jedi. So
There you go. All right.
Actually, he doesn't look that much different now than he does in Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you want to?
Wrinkles, but yeah, he's gonna fix that. Okay.
Anything you want to plug before you go, sir?
Yes, I need to get my at least my subscriptions back over 1,300 and nothing else.
Well, by golly, I'm about 10% your channel size, but anything I can do to help, brother.
Spread it around, guys. And for the and since we can't put links in there, spell out Captain all the way, AIN, and that's the channel name right there.
There we
I
go.
just subscribed to you.
And with any luck, hopefully a little Christmas miracle come through with the various programs we're working with. We can get in a place by the end of the year, and I can set up a real studio.
That'd be great.
And then putting out some real content.
Outstanding. Well, appreciate you popping in, Captain. Thank you.
Not a problem.
All right. It's just me and you, Thoth, and we get to talk The Expanse, the single greatest science fiction television show on air right now, and definitely among the top, I'm going to say top 3 ever made.
Wow. Well, yeah, it's right up there. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Season 1, great. Season 2, awesome. Season 3, even better. Season 4, good. And those 3 episodes that we saw were just wow, like spellbinding. I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. Yep.
Top notch, man. And yeah, Chris is saying he can't wait for the next episode of The Expanse. Things are getting ready to go sideways. Yeah, to say the least. And
beginning to go sideways.
I think they went sideways, backwards, forward, and turned to 360, all at once, right at the end of episode 3. And yes, Jennifer, they were perfection.
That's how you write good science fiction.
Oh, God,
good
yes.
Thinking science fiction, great stories, great characters, great casting. That's how you improve on the books.
Yeah, yes. And everybody I've heard who has read the books versus watching the series has pretty much universally agreed with you, Thoth, that the changes that they've made were all improvements over the original stories that were put on paper. And Jaffo, yes, you absolutely, when you get that time off, take the opportunity to watch The Expanse. The one thing I would say is you need to, especially for the first 3 or 4 episodes, you need to make sure you're focused on watching. Because if you're doing 2-3 things at once, like a lot of us usually do these days, you'll find it hard to get engrossed in the show. But if you can just dedicate to watching, those first 3 episodes, you'll be hooked like crazy. Because
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh God, yes. The characterization in the first 3 episodes that we've got, I love what they've done. And Steph, thank you for popping in. We appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you on my next review for The Stand, by God. But the way that they split the crew up in order to give us the ability to see all the political PowerPoints of the solar system, I love it. And it's the only way you can do it when you're trying to follow kind of a main character POV type situation. So I really like how they are our lens into what's going on Earth, Mars, the belt, in 2 places of the belt, right? You got the OPA and then you've got the Inaros faction.
Yep. Well, yeah. Well, there's several factions in the belt, and we're only seeing some of the disgruntled ones. You have the ones who are kind of at the top, but it's very much a kind of like I hate to use the word pirate kind of look, whereby everybody has their ship. They're kind of they take their bounties, they go for salvage, they try to find things, and so you have some are tougher than others, and some have more of a bigger reputation. Some have tougher ships because that's how they have to pay for their lifestyle out there. Then you have the ones who are in all the colonies, like Ceres, and so you have all the different factions out there. You've got what's going on with the all of the gates and who's policing that. You've got the Martians kind of in a bad spot right now with now they've spent this, it's a generational thing where they're trying to make Mars habitable again. So you're changing Mars for the better, but the problem is that takes literally several lifetimes. And then
Yes.
you've got Earth, who should be in the good spot, but they have so many people on the planet and so many people on basic, whereby they're just living. It's
No
like
life
a
at all.
giant
They're-
soup kitchen.
Yeah, they're on UBI. They've got a roof
Yeah.
over their heads, and they got enough food so that they don't die, but they don't have jobs. They don't have anything. And now we've got the gates.
And then the gates show up, which opens the door for mass immigration, and which is going to be an interesting thing in how they deal with it. We've had a short story in one of the books whereby we got to see a colony on a planet and how it develops. And I think that might be a story for another time. I think they're going to be concentrating on our main characters here, the ones we've grown attached to. That's the way that the show has made the books better. I think they've absorbed some of the extraneous characters. Some of the wokeness has disappeared because it's obviously a diverse cast anyway, and that's great. We don't have to be told every 5 minutes that a person is one way or the other. And we've seen that, of course, with Kamina, and we've seen the whole situation with her little ship and how they're dealing with relationships there, right? It's very open. That's cool. So we don't have to be told that that's going on. We can just see it. And you can tell a story whereby everybody is taken into consideration.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
the backgrounds. Go ahead. I'm talking.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, for me, and this comes partially from being a political junkie. I mean, I got my college degrees in, I've got 2 BAs in BSing, which means history and political science. And so, like, one of the things that I love about what's going on right now in the Expanse is that one of the things Jennifer Sisko pointed out here, which is it's like the land rush of the West. There's all this open, fertile, habitable land for people to go and make their own and mold in the way that they see fit. Right? In many ways, it's like manifest destiny writ large in some ways. Hopefully not with all the bad connotations and just the good ones. But there's this rush and this ability to spread and expand. And so you've got that going on. And then simultaneously coupled with that, that's causing so many problems, particularly the collapse of Mars. I mean, Mars... to me, I mean, I haven't read the books. I just watched the show. But by the end of this thing, if they go through the end of all 9 books, like, I'm almost convinced there's going to be no one left on Mars. Because why? Right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, why would you? You've got thousands of habitable worlds. Why are you going to spend another 100 years terraforming Mars?
Exactly.
I wouldn't.
And that's the problem. That's one of the things that they kind of revealed subtly here in episode 3, right? They show us Mars. Well, episode 2 too. They show us Mars. They show the state of the economy there. All the businesses are gone. It's kind of a dirty place. It's very dark. It's you still have the elites who still have most of the power and money, but it's slowly slipping through their fingers as all the military resources is being spread out, right? In order to make money now, you have to sell that, and you sell it to the highest bidder. And in this case, we've seen the effects of that at the end of episode 3 and the stolen Martian technology.
Yeah, and we end up with the crash of the asteroid into Africa, and good old Marco Inaros enacting his terror to mainly exert power and get revenge on Earth. I mean, that's, from watching the show, that's what I see his motivations as being. It's the desire for power, to be the controlling, government of the system, and to extract revenge. That's all I've got. For me, right? I mean, is there something bigger than that I'm missing?
No, I think you're hitting it on, right on, dead on. I think, well, we know that necessity breeds innovation, and that's why Mars is so powerful, why they have such advanced technology. And I think everything that's going on economically and politically in the system is in chaos right now because the status quo is imploded. So yeah, you're right,
to say the least. Yeah, and it's so I mean, just because of that background that I've got, with what I did my formal schooling in and stuff, it's just, that is easily the most interesting part of the show. You know, and because that grabs my attention. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I like the strategizing from the halls of power. I'd like to see more from the
yes,
Martian perspective, though, because we obviously see Earth's politics with Avasala and with what's going on there, because she got kind of downgraded in her position, so she's not purview to everything going on, but she was smart and politically. Her political acumen is through the roof. She got a position whereby she can still keep her fingers in the pot, but we don't get to see too much of what's going on in Mars yet. I'm wondering if they're going to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we know that the general at the War College that Alex and Bobby are on to obviously is still very well connected in the government and the military. Mary, she's saying that, her take on Inaros is that he doesn't expect to survive, wants to do huge damage, doesn't care what's left after he's gone. Narcissist. And I think he hopes he's still there when he's done, but I mean, it's fair. Maybe he doesn't care. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. What do you think, Huff?
Yeah, well, he's an idealist. He's a terrorist.
Yeah.
It's very much a reflection of what's going on in the world in the last several years. We're looking at 9/11 kind of situation. Oh, I hope that didn't screw things up. I think we can still mention 3 numbers, right? I think that what happened there is
we're not monetized, and we're be done in 5 to 10 minutes anyway, so it's all good.
I think what has happened here is the writers have modernized the story for what's been going on the last 10 years. And what we had in New York is a prime example. You've got a terrorist who has weapons of mass destruction, and he's pointed them at Earth. Yes. So we're going to see that, and he knows that once he did that, he became the target of everyone in the planets in the Earth solar system. He's become this big rallying cry behind the disenfranchised and the disenchanted, and he's become the biggest target, or will become the biggest target after episode 3 in the planet, not just on the top 10 list of Earth.
Yeah. So, something that I haven't seen discussed very much this week in the recaps of the show is Drummer's real motivation for going after Inaros. I think a lot of people have suggested that it's revenge, or or it's somehow a sense of trying to get even. But I think it's guilt. I think it's about guilt. Because track back with me to season 4.
Okay.
They've got Inaros captured, and they're about to space his ass. Who cast the deciding vote that saved his life?
True.
It was Drummer. And I think her chief motivation is guilt over the death of Ashford. I think that's possible. Why she wants to go after him.
It's possible. I think that there's a lot of emotions involved here. I think we look at the original situation, right, whereby it was decided to let him go, but that was politics that was played there, and now after everything's kind of settled here, there's a lot of emotions at play here. You could be right.
I mean, for me, because when they're having the talk on the ship, and they're accusing her of going after revenge, I think she answered honestly when she told them it wasn't about revenge. I really do. Because her and Ashford built a good, tight relationship, I thought. And God, I miss him. Klaus was so good.
That was a great character arc from very beginning, from when they're butting heads, right? They're butting heads with each other, and they're like barking at each other, but they had the brotherhood. They had that brotherhood amongst them, and
they did.
And so, when you're Belters, Belter Louder, you're that family, and so families fight, but families also make up, and I think that's kind of what happened. Was their character arc for the two of them was just so amazing to watch, because we got to see amazing growth.
So good. They were so good together. Those two actors were incredible. I love them.
Amazing chemistry. Yep.
Yeah, which, you know, when you think about it, right, you got this old, almost grandfatherly type character, and then you got drummer. I mean, let's face it, who's a gorgeous, competent, powerful woman. And you get to have these two come together with such chemistry is just incredible.
Yeah, the two of them, whenever they're in the room together, they ate up the scenery, right? It was just you couldn't help but smile as they were throwing barbs at each other, but they respected each other, and that's what I'm saying. By, you know, there's a chain of command. We know who was in charge, but and there was always that hint of, you know, him wanting to take over. But when they grew to respect each other, you could see that they would die for each other, and that's kind of what you're looking at here, right? That. And then him leaving those clues at the end and where he left them, that was just perfect.
Oh, it's beautiful. I loved it. And because his presence is still there despite the fact that he's no longer with us. And that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Mary G says he's cool like Sean Connery. And I hadn't made that particular equivalence, but I see where you're coming from.
Could be the accent too, right?
Well, it doesn't hurt. Yeah.
I think she's right. I think she's absolutely right. I think he's got that smooth kind of confidence. You know, he has his opinions and they're strong. And Kamina's had her opinions and she's strong. And they butted heads. And then she made the decision. He went, "Okay, you're the boss. All man."
Right. Well, there you go, man. So I think it's about time for us to get wrapped up. The Inquisition's getting ready to roll pretty soon, and we do tend to lose most of our viewers if we're still going when that show kicks off. So, but any final thoughts, Lord Thoth? What do you for this week? Whether it's on Mando, whether it's on Expanse, whether you're going to watch The Stand.
We do need to talk The Stand. Obviously, the book was amazing. So, but it's very dated. It's very dated. I see the challenge in that show. We will have to. Maybe what I'll do is I'll watch the 2 episodes and then we can talk about it. Because the new one's coming up here at Christmas time. So, The Expanse, I could talk. I know, and you could talk as well because you're even more recent because you binged it pretty good here the last few weeks. We could talk The Expanse for hours, and it's a lot of fun to talk about because it's just so amazing. As for Star Wars, you know, the sheen of that final episodes kind of wore off a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. I still gave it an 8.5. I don't think I'm going to change that. I think that there's a lot of good in there. There's a lot of bad, but it's not Star Trek Discovery, which just breaks my heart every time I watch it, and I do watch it. So yeah, there's some good out there. There's some pop culture positives. We've got some good shows. The genre is still alive. We might need a defibrillator to keep going, but I think we're okay. All right. Thank you very much for letting me join in on your live streams. I appreciate that.
I love having you here, man. You're a great voice.
Well, thank you.
All right, but yeah, we're definitely going to wrap up, y'all. I think you can probably expect to catch both Lord Thoth and I in the chat in the Inquisition before too long. But in the meantime, thank you so much, everybody, for sticking around so long. We had anywhere between about 10 to 20 viewers throughout the nearly 2.5 hours of this stream. And that is just super, super amazing. I love talking with y'all. The chat was incredibly active and hot tonight, which I love. It makes it so much easier for those of us who are chatting with you to have the conversation, because we all play off of each other and create just a much more fun entertainment product. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I really do mean that, both to all the panelists and everybody who watched and contributed to the chat. So please do like the video, share the channel with your friends on social media. If you're just coming across this for the first time, consider subscribing to the channel, and we will talk to you later.